Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is the fastest hedgehog you know, Dan Ryan.
Gotta juice it up or get juiced or
drink some juice.
Your mom is juiced. I don't know. That was
weird show. All aboard the SAG Cartoon Express. This time we're watching the very first episode of Sonic the Hedgehog, the less goofy one. Does Urkel still make a good Sonic? Put on some blue boots and no pants because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now. Hi everyone, this is episode 629. It's the week of August 7th, 2026, and welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. Speaking of which, I have a correction to make.
Oh,
apparently.
Okay.
All right, not necessarily a correction, but apparently the Krusty Demons are a thing.
Okay.
The Krusty Demons, like, that wasn't just a weird random name given to some random Xbox game. The Krusty Demons are a legendary collective of international freestyle motocross daredevils and stunt riders, founded in 1994 by filmmakers John Freeman and Dana Nicholson through Fleshwood Films. The group revolutionized extreme sports culture with the release of the original Krusty Demons of Dirt video.
Cool!
Featured renowned pioneering riders including Seth Enslow, Mike Metzger, Brian Deegan, and Jeremy McGrath.
All right, then. I know a few of those names.
I've heard at least two of those names. And, we didn't know. We're sorry for poking fun at the Krusty Demons. Because without context, that's pretty silly. But,
it is pretty silly.
With context, it is still a little silly, but
I was going to say,
cool.
With context, it's still silly. Silly is fine.
I
appreciate the opportunity to learn something. I don't know shit about motocross. It's not my thing.
Yeah, same here. Any hoozles, how you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm tired, but I'm fine.
Yeah, I am also tired, but fine. I'm less tired than I was. I actually slept okay last night, but went a little hard on the gym and physical therapy this week. As of last week, I finally achieved my goal of being under 200 pounds.
Outstanding.
I reached 199.8. They don't ask
how many.
They don't ask how. They just ask how many. That counts. So I went hard again this week as far as eating. I did not slip up. My mom took me out to lunch today, so I didn't exactly have a salad. I had
you shouldn't have salad. It's trying to fucking...
I had salads all week.
Actually, if you want to lose weight,
that's a good way
I would
to
imagine explosive diarrhea is the way to go.
Yeah, I had salads all week, but I didn't buy any bagged salad. I just bought the loose crops and washed them thoroughly, and I've been quite regular. Everything's just fine in that department. But I was having taco salads.
Threw a bunch of bleach on them.
Yeah. It's the greatest salad dressing there is. No, it was good.
Been saying that for years.
It was good. But yeah, I went out with lunch with my mom, and I had some onion rings and a Reuben sandwich. It was good. And I was out with my mom, so I'm not gonna I'm not fucking around. We were in Smithville, and then I went and got some chocolate-covered raisins. I ate 6 of them. I've got a little bag next to me here that I'm not currently eating, which is
not
lovely.
currently.
Not currently. I
Soon.
will pick at them, but I'm hoping that I'll be down again this week and still under 200 pounds. I've been eating well, with the exception of today, so I think I'm doing okay. I think I'll stay there. But I've been trying to push myself and do this physical therapy stuff's been a bitch. We do think that we've figured out the cause of my arm problems is most likely Hopper.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, he pulls with his full weight and force whenever he sees something he wants. So, when we're out, walking, I have to, I lean back, brace myself, and, hold on to the best of my ability.
Sure.
And for the longest time, I've been doing that with one hand because I figured that would, help strengthen my arms. And that's what I want. But apparently that kind of force over and over again over a long period of time will fuck up your elbows. So I'm now, keeping him on a little bit of a shorter lead because I have one of those retractable ones. So he can't get quite as much of a running start when he darts towards something. And, I'm holding onto the leash with two hands instead of one. So it doesn't cause quite so much damage. But we're pretty sure that's actually the source of my arm issues.
No shit.
So we've just been doing a lot of exercises to try and strengthen the muscles around that and cut down on the whole...
Copious amounts of jerking off. But full arm motion, so you get the whole range in there.
Yeah, two hands. I mean, good times.
Like I'm taking out a sword.
The best of times. Oh, I am taking out a sword.
That's sworded, Jace.
Unsheathing. More of a dagger.
It's a short sword.
A butter knife, maybe.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you.
I mean, let's be honest. It's corn holders,
I don't know. I've seen some pretty... Like a novelty corn holder? I've seen some pretty big ones.
No, not novelty. Just the ones that are like little tiny ears of corn that you poke in. That's really what we're working with here. But anyway, back to business.
What did I
here.
see? I saw something online. Oh God, somebody was talking. I think they were. Oh fuck, I don't remember who they said it about. It was one of our elected officials. I don't remember exactly which one. It doesn't matter. Because I think adding, like, whoever, just say a name, right? And then at the end of that, put eats corn the long way. And I just find that to be very funny. It's just really funny mental image.
I tried a corn trick this week that didn't quite work out as well as I wanted to. A corn trick. So I saw on the internets that if you take an ear of corn... You leave it. You don't shuck it. You slap the whole thing in the microwave for like 4 minutes.
Okay.
Take it out. Then, not the top, but the bottom. You chop the bottom off, and then you squeeze from the top like a tube of toothpaste. The corn comes out, and all the silk comes off.
Okay.
I watched a few people do this on the internet. Thought, well, that just sounds lovely. Except for when I don't want to cook the corn. But it comes out steamed, and then you're good to go. So I tried it, and it kind of worked, but not nearly as well as it did in the videos. Which that's how these things go. But yeah,
to be expected. Yeah.
It's certainly an interesting prospect. It also overcooked the corn, I think, because I left it in the microwave afterwards because I was cooking other things at the time. I don't know. It was an interesting experience. It's quite the experiment. Corn silk bothers the hell out of me. I just hate it.
I do not like it to the point that I will not eat corn on the cob because of it.
Oh, I love corn on the cob, especially Jersey corn this time of year.
Oh,
in fact,
sure.
I had a whole shitload of corn in my taco salads, but of course, that was raw corn. You don't want cooked corn in your salads. Raw corn on the cob, especially raw white Jersey corn. Oh, so good.
It's good stuff. So good. The silk bothers me so much, though, that it's just one of those things. Like, I have very, very, very few, food no-nos, I guess. I mean, that sounds super immature, but very, very few things where I'm like, just absolutely the fuck not. It's pretty much the silk on corn on the cob and durian, I think, are the only two. But I fucking refuse. I refuse to eat it. I don't know why it bothers me as much as it does. It just does. I don't question it.
Pre-flossing your teeth, except the floss stays there. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I don't care for it, so I don't do it. I'll take my my steamed corn in a bag. Thank you very much.
Steamed corn in a bag.
Also, if we're being completely transparent, I prefer doing the like esquite corn, and that it's just so much better. Like
I don't know what that means.
It's Mexican street corn, but it's the off the cob version.
I can't really get behind adding so much to corn. I really just like the corn.
I love it so much. It's so good.
You would.
I do. I do.
Slathering your corn in various creams
and substances. You know how I like it. Slathered and spicy.
This has become a bit of a tradition. Whenever we do the Cartoon Express, we talk about as much as we can to avoid talking about the cartoon.
Boy.
So I'll add one more thing. I got a package in the mail from Fangamer. I ordered a physical version of Just Shapes and Beats, like we talked about on the show, and it showed up today. And it makes me very happy to finally have a physical version of this game. I didn't think that was ever going to really happen. And man, oh man, these guys know how to put together a package. Besides like the catalog that came with it, and the Fangamer sticker, it came with Just Shapes and Beats stickers, a poster, a full instruction booklet, full color, and another little like card advertising a handful of their other Switch games that are available on Fangamer. I like these guys. They make good products. And I'm a fan of good products.
I will absolutely get around to playing that game at some point.
You really should. It is an extraordinary experience. Really one of my favorites on the platform.
I have it.
It's utterly brilliant.
I have it. And maybe I have played it. I don't fucking remember anymore. Which is why I started like writing shit down of like what I've actually played. You know?
I started to do that a couple of years ago, and then I didn't do it this year, and now I'm kind of regretting it because when the end of the year comes, it's gonna be like, all right, what were your favorite games you played this year? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember shit.
Did I play games? I didn't even play any games this year.
Colton Cowser. Man, there's some fun names on the Baltimore Orioles. Colton Cowser.
That is a good solid ass baseball name.
That is a solid ass. I mean, Colton to begin with is good baseball name, but Cowser, you're following it up. You got the alliteration going.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Sonic the Hedgehog, Dan. Sonic the Hedgehog. Choo choo, motherfuckers. It is time for the Stone Age Gamer Cartoon Express. This is a monthly segment on this show where we watch old cartoons based on video games and we discuss them. And this time we were talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, Season 1, Episode 1, Sonic Boom. This was we've talked about this before. The last couple times we've had Sonic on the show. There were two Sonic shows running concurrently. Both shows had Jaleel White of Steve Urkel fame voicing the titular Hedgehog. And one of them was slightly more serious, action-oriented, and slightly more serious. Not like it's a serious show, but slightly more serious. And the other one is just like Super Mario Brothers Super Show levels of absolute buffoonery. And this is the more serious one. This show originally aired September 18th, 1993. The IMDb description is Sally receives a message from her father. She pinpoints his location in the dark swamp. And that was all that really happened in this episode, if we're being honest.
It really is. And like how was this the first episode of this show?
I wonder about that, because on Evan's Plex server, this is not the first episode of the show. According to IMDb, this is the first episode. Maybe this is the first one that aired, but on Evan's Plex server...
This is listed as the second episode.
Yes. Yeah. So what was the first episode? The first episode was Super Sonic. So let's see. Let's go to IMDb. Well, let's see if there's a description here on this. Sonic tries to get a crystal before Robotnik can use it, but is hindered when he loses his legendary speed. You know, I'm
because
thinking...
that also doesn't sound like it gives you literally. So, like, that I think was the bit. I thought this episode was terrible. I was fucking angry the whole time I was watching. I just, man, did I just not enjoy this at all.
I was really indifferent. Like, I wasn't angry. I was just completely indifferent.
But, like, they gave you literally nothing. They just dump you in. And
this was just that kind of show. Like, they were just...
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, if you don't know... Fuck, but if you don't know anything about Sonic, nothing is explained. It's just...
Well, this doesn't have anything to do with Sonic either. All you know is that he goes fast. It doesn't really... None of these characters are in the games or anything like that. This is... That
and a lot of juice. Like, this was so bad.
I mean, the theme song was just about, he's fast and he has attitude. That's the show.
I mean, sure, okay. I guess. Boy.
We start the show and there's a bunch of robot things flying around, and then we're introduced to two characters, Antoine and Cat. There is a cat named Cat in this show.
Yes. Antoine, by the way, apparently a coyote.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bothering Tiff. So she looked it up. He's apparently a coyote.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I like that. See, I remember there being a, when the Dreamcast game came out, there was a lot of guff thrown at the lazy character design of Big the Cat, because it was a big cat named Big the Cat. Yeah. And, like, it was stupid enough that it kind of looped around to, like, now he has its own fandom. But
yeah,
also Big the Cat was at least an interesting character design, kind of. This is
he's
just
a big
like,
fucking cat.
Yeah, he got a big dopey expression on his face, and he likes fishing.
Hey, he's kind of fun.
This cat is like the most throwaway, generic ass cat you've ever seen. This was a dumb character, and all he did was get kidnapped. I will give this show credit that so let's see if we can summarize the plot. Why were they going to where, like, they were infiltrating a Dr. Robotnik base, and then Sally went to hack something, and I will give the show credit for not using the word hack. That was cool.
Yes,
right?
That's something.
That's a thing that TV overdoes. But so she finds this message that mentions beans, and apparently she used to be called Bean, so she's convinced her father's still alive. This is where we find out her father might be dead, and that her father was a king because she's a princess. This is how this information gets delivered to us. And then she stays too long, and so Cat gets captured.
Captured?
Yeah.
Picking up what you're putting down.
What the hell happened after that?
So then they go to the Dark Swamp?
I think she found out. Oh, that's right. They did go to the Dark Swamp. She found out that her dad was in the Dark Swamp, theoretically. And then they went to the Dark Swamp. And I didn't do anything else. I just mentally checked out for long enough that by the time I snapped back into it, the credits were rolling. And I had to rewind to be like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, there was like a prison in the Dark Swamp, and that's potentially where her father was, because she found a piece of his robe, and she was like, "This is my dad's robe."
Remember that.
I recognized the pattern. It was like, all right,
he
cool.
was here.
Yeah, cool. He was here, and then Sonic turned into a saw blade at some point. Like, I just watched this like literally 35 minutes ago.
I thought I made before you get to the saw blade thing, I have a couple of notes that I wrote down. First off, I really liked the line "Patients are for hospitals." Or patience is for hospitals.
Patience is for hospitals. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's fair. That was a good line.
But my big question actually goes back further, specifically to Antoine, but both Kat and Antoine to an extent, but really specifically talking about Antoine. Why was he there?
I don't really know. I kept waiting for him to be a bad guy. He was he was so useless and seemed to be hindering the mission far more than helping, that I kept waiting for him to be like, "Ha ha! I've got your father. Fuck you!" And
See, I remember watching this show as a kid, so I know that didn't happen. But also, I don't understand. Like, so she went to go to the swamp. It was like, Antoine, you're coming with me.
Yeah, like on purpose, she took Antoine.
Like, but why? What was the point? And then all he did was be scared of everything. And I guess when they fell off the bridge, he helped her up. But would she have fallen off the bridge were he not there? I think not. So again, what is the purpose of this character other than to give Rob Paulsen some work? Not that he needed it back then. He was doing fine. But I don't...
And why is he French?
Yeah, why is he French? Why does he have this, like, full coat on? Nobody else is wearing clothes. All the animals are just, like, buck naked except shoes.
And the princess, like, not to put too fine a point on it, but her fur pattern...
this is why furries exist. Tits. I mean, this show is a big part of why the furry Sonic community exists. Let's not mince words here. It's this show and that character in particular.
I mean, those were some squirrel tits.
That is exactly what that was.
Display.
Yeah.
And the fact that Antoine was wearing a coat really highlighted just how odd it was that everyone else was keeping their shoes on.
Just buck-ass nude minus a pair of boots.
It was very much
shoes.
Very much like Burt Reynolds in Boogie Nights.
So clothes exist in this universe. That's a thing.
But they're choosing to be naked. Yes.
They're just like, but I'm covered in fur, so what does it matter? And Antoine's just like, well, I'm going to wear this coat, but no pants. Did Antoine have shoes as well?
He did, yes.
So he's got boots. He's got a coat, a haircut, and a pair of boots.
Yeah.
Anyways, I thought I then wrote, this cat character sure looks expendable.
Boy was he.
Robotnik is a good deal more terrifying here than he is in the comedy show, but not quite comics level terrifying. So when John was a bit younger, we were reading a bunch of the Sonic comics, and I remember specifically in the Mega Man crossover, I really liked the characterization of Robotnik in those comics because, like, he didn't quite look like this. He looked more like he did in the game, but his whole thing was like, so they get together with Dr. Wily. The whole plot of the Mega Man crossover was Wily and Robotnik team up, right? And then Wily and Robotnik, they kidnap Dr. Light, and then Robotnik just straight up tries to kill him, and Dr. Wily's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
He's like, what? Murder. Like, he's in your way. He questions your genius. We need to kill him. And he's like, I want to humiliate him. I don't want to kill the man. And it's like, that's the characterization I like, because when you really think about Robotnik, he's fucking evil. Like, I am going to steal
don't get it, do you, Scott?
woodland creatures and turn them into robotic monsters. And, like, Dr. Wily is just like, no, I'm a genius and I want to humiliate this guy. I don't want him dead.
I don't want to kill the man.
Just different levels of evil right there.
Yeah.
And this Robotnik seemed evil and not like goofishly incompetent like in the more comedy driven one. So that was something. And the buzzsaw move was pretty neat, except much like the theme song, this was a perfect opportunity to really call back to the games with some sounds, right? The Sonic the Hedgehog sound effects, even at this point in time, were pretty iconic. And not using them, like when the theme song was playing, I was like, okay, this is a neat theme song, but are they really not going to reference that like really catchy theme song from the video games at all here? And no sound, like the Mario or Super Show was filled with Mario sound effects in ways that made no sense. They were just like scattered throughout. They'd be like, they'd be walking and it would be going bloop, 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 bloop in the background for no reason at all. Or like in the live action segments, he'd like turn and look at Luigi and it would make like a bonk coin sound effect. Like, what? Why? Who cares? Really? Who cares? But no real game references in this, and that was kind of tragic. Anyway, you were saying back to the plot of the episode. How did we wrap things up?
I don't remember.
I remember, like Sonic pulled out a thing out of a bag, and it was a bomb, and then something blew up, and then the credits just rolled,
and then it was just over. Yeah,
they didn't confront Robotnik or anything like that. They never came eye to eye. Like Sonic just ran away. And I remember this show eventually having some sort of a through line. So maybe this all kind of builds to something, like to an actual showdown. So. I don't know. Yeah, this was pretty mild. It was I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. I nothinged this. I just kind of I sat there and I watched it and I was like, well, this is certainly content. I remember kind of sort of liking this one. So I went in with a little bit of a excitement toward, leaning towards nostalgia or nostalgia leaning towards excitement, and was thoroughly let down.
Yeah, I mean, I had zero nostalgia for this show. This was not something I watched when I was younger. For whatever reason, the two of the biggest, most successful games of all time have just never appealed to me, either Mario or Sonic. And this was just not something I watched.
That's just
apparently.
Wait,
I'm going to lean into that.
This guy's name is Pete Alonso.
Fuck Pete Alonso.
I really like these names. He's a polar bear?
Pete Alonso is going to upset a few people who listen to the show. Pete Alonso is the Mets' all-time leading home run hitter. Was one of the most popular Mets players of all time. A homegrown Met. Had a contract dispute last season. They brought him back on a 1-year prove-it deal. He did, in fact, prove it. And then the Mets were like, nah. We don't want you back. We're good. We're gonna bring in what's the dude? I can't remember the dude's name that they brought in to play first base, who had never played first base in his life. I can't remember who the fuck that is because he's been hurt all year. And then they signed Bo Bichette and put him at third base, even though he's not a third baseman, he's a shortstop. And they were like, but Pete Alonso, one of the most popular Mets of all time, our all-time home run leader, huge in jersey sales, super likable guy. He's the polar bear, right? Like, homegrown. He can fuck off to Baltimore. It was like, all right, guys, that's a choice that you made. Yeah.
That's a whole lot of nonsense right there.
Yeah. I like Pete Alonso a lot.
I don't know, he seems like a nice guy. He's tall. He's tall.
He's just a fucking big dude. He's when you think like brick shithouse, that is Pete Alonso. He's just a big dude.
There's a Gunnar Henderson up right now.
Yeah.
This team is just filled with baseball names.
Gunnar
Henderson.
For a long time, the Orioles were terrible. So they got to pick pretty high in the draft. And, there's a lot of baseball names in the draft because these are, kids who grew up and their family was like baseball families and whatnot. So they ended up drafting a lot of these baseball kids, with real good baseball names. And then they had a really good season 2 seasons ago. They won over 100 games. It was like, fuck, this is going to be great. The Orioles are going to be a problem for years to come. And then the next season happened, and it was like, oh, never mind. We don't actually have to worry about these guys. That was an anomaly. Cool.
That's a bummer. I like their logo. I've always liked that Oriole.
It's a great logo. They are a historic franchise. They've had some amazing players. Baseball is better, I think, when the Orioles are better, but frankly, the Orioles haven't been relevant in decades.
Okay, so this guy's name is... I don't know how to say this guy's first name.
Is it Heston Kerstjad?
No, it's Lordy Tavares?
Oh, Lourdes Tavares?
Lourdes?
Yeah. Is it Lourdes? Or Lorde?
No, they won't show his first name again. I don't remember seeing an S at the end of that.
I don't know.
Like, I know the name Lourdes. This looked like something else entirely. But maybe I'm just imagining things. This is on MSN, and their whole situation here, I'm not enjoying. Glad I'm not paying for it.
The Yankees won today, so I don't have to actually watch any baseball during the show.
Well, congratulations to your team.
Yes.
We did beat you once. That was fun. You know, we remembered how to play baseball for a game, and that was pretty cool. Yeah,
they beat the shit out of them that game. I was like, oh boy.
that was kind of fun.
Boy, this is embarrassing.
And then the Marlins did that to us a few times.
Yeah.
Blow a 6-0 lead. What a bunch of assholes. Anyway, speaking of a bunch of assholes, what the fuck was Anton doing there? What does he bring to the table? This
literally
show is
nothing.
Very confusing.
Literally nothing.
So let's rate it before we read our feedback. Where is my spreadsheet? Where is my supersuit?
Where is my supersuit?
Cast stats. Untitled spreadsheet. Super Series. Cartoon Express. There you are. So, 2026. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Boom. And what the fuck did this episode have to do with a Sonic Boom? Oh, he
literally
threw bombs
nothing.
At the end. He threw bombs at the end.
That doesn't count.
All right. Boy, where are we putting this? I have to say it's better than Pole Position the Code.
I don't think it was. That was at least stupid fun. This was just stupid. I hated this.
I don't remember Pole Position being fun. It's definitely not better than Campus Commandos.
No.
All right.
What's the worst thing that we have? Start from the bottom.
That was it. Pole Position the Code. That's the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to put it above that, I will. I will acquiesce. But I thought it was. I thought this was garbage. I hated. I don't think we've watched.
I don't think we've watched anything that's been so utterly wretched that this would really warrant. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Sonic Boom at the bottom.
All of the fucking he had a quip a minute. It was so annoying. And the time to juice up. Like, that's not a thing. Stop trying to make fetch happen. What the fuck
Patience
are you doing?
Is for hospitals. That almost makes sense. I thought it was clever. So what do we got in the listener feedback here? Duroc Pig.
But the joke, they did it in Airplane. That a hospital, what is it? Well, it's a big building with a lot of patients. It's not important right now. That's the fucking joke. Anyway.
Just have some patience. Patience is for hospitals.
Oh, I know. Have you never seen Airplane?
Of course I've seen Airplane, but that's a different joke.
It's a better joke.
And better joke. Of course it's a better joke. It's in fucking Airplane. Jesus Christ. Are you really going to compare Sonic the Hedgehog,
yes,
one random episode, to one of the greatest comedies ever written?
Yes, I absolutely am. Don't talk to me about loading and unloading zones. You know what this is really about.
All right, Durok Pig says, I have to admit, for an episode 1, this felt odd. I guess I was expecting more of an elaboration about the characters in the world and their situation. For a kids show, it just kind of assumes you already know a lot of things. Granted, this is Sonic, so there is nothing truly deep here. Antoine is still annoying. Certainly a choice to start with him over the numerous other characters like Bunny or Rotor. I'll take your word for that.
Sure.
I remember genuinely liking this more serialized version back in the day, and I still find it enjoyable to watch. It's no Batman the Animated Series by a long shot in terms of quality, but it's also no Donkey Kong, so it has that going for it. When I saw Cat and knew he wasn't a fixture in the series, my first thought was, well, that character's going to die. Or at least something bad is going to happen to him. Certainly not your typical Saturday morning cartoon, and definitely sets the tone that this is not the happy, zany version of the show. I would agree with you. I also, Durok Pig, remember liking this show, and it definitely goes somewhere. It's not as good as the other shows of the day, but it was, it is a distinct step up above a lot of the swill that was on TV back then. Durok Pig says also, it's no Mega Man theme song, but I think it's pretty catchy. Let me interject for a quick second here, because we need to take a quick little side street.
Okay.
So, I am a very big Dragon Ball Z fan, and I was a big Dragon Ball Z fan, back when it was airing here in North America, and when it originally aired, Dragon Ball Z in North America, it originally aired, was the Ocean dub is what they call it.
Right.
And it had a specific voice cast that would, like, I recognized most of the voices also from, like, Transformers Beast Wars and stuff. It was good stuff. It was censored to all shit. And then Funimation got the rights, and right, like, when Goku arrived on planet Namek and was fighting Berter and Jace, it switched over to the Funimation voices, and they did not know what they were doing at all at that point. The quality dropped like mad. Eventually, they got their shit together, but I will always have a deep-seated love for that, Rock the Dragon theme song and the way that original show sounds. I recently found out that it continued to some degree in Canada with those voices. I finally learned more about it, and it wasn't just that it continued with those voices, it's that the show eventually it picked back up again in Canada under a different group, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. The Westwood, I think.
Okay.
Because, like, I had seen pieces of it. Yes, the Westwood dub. So they picked up the show and rehired almost all the same actors, like the same guy who does the last time on Dragon Ball Z, like, super enthusiastically. Goku's voice is different, but Krillin's the same, Piccolo's the same, Tien's the same, and it's almost it's pretty much the same exact scripts as the Funimation crew used. They just revoiced it in Canada with these Canadian voice actors. And I finally figured out what that was, because I had seen little clips on YouTube, but I had never been able to find, like, what's the rest of the show? Where does it pick up? And I found out that it's because that entire chunk doesn't exist. The Ocean dub ended, and then this picks up in the middle of the Cell Saga. So the rest of Frieza and the beginning of, like, Trunks coming to Earth or whatever, that just doesn't exist with these voiceovers. But I've been watching this Westwood dub that Evan got me and threw up on the Plex. And what's super interesting about this, I've looked into a little bit, like the story behind it. So to air it in Canada, they just, this company didn't really edit the show as deeply as as the Ocean dub did, but the same voices were there. But instead of using, like, the original show's music, they provided their own, like, full audio track with the exception of, like, sound effects. And the music that they use for the show is from the Mega Man cartoon, including the theme song.
What?
So it's not the theme song to the show. It's got a really lame theme song. But during the show, all that background music in the Mega Man cartoon, when it's playing the da-da-da-da, that's in this show all the time. It's
That's
so
fucking weird.
I'll just be sitting there watching it, and then an action sequence will happen, and it's playing the Mega Man music. I know the lyrics to this song, and it's not Dragon Ball. This is freaking weird.
That's super fucking weird.
Anyway, that was the train that I needed to that was the trip we needed to go down.
Okay.
Let's see. We only really have one other one, and that was from Trashman. Today I learned 2 Sonic cartoons aired basically at the same time in 1993. Clearly you weren't paying attention when we talked about this before, Trashman. Anyway, who is the old hedgehog in the intro? Sonic for the future? I have no idea. We all remember the robot Cybermen that spontaneously combust when walking into walls. Of course we do. They were from Berserk. I think the intro told me Sonic is the fastest thing alive no less than 27 times. I'll take your word for it. I did not count. Who the fuck are Antoine and Kat? An excellent question. Shit, the Dark Swamp. I hate Antoine. We both do. We all do. Sonic is running all the way back to where he just was. He left his friend to get roboticized. What the hell? The pacing is all over the place. Now we have a monster who's actually a robot for reasons. Oh, right. Sonic, saw-bladed through a giant monster thing that turned out to be a robot. And, I said, how did you know it was a robot? He said, Sonic always knows or some nonsense.
Yeah.
And the show abruptly ends. Final thoughts. Well, it wasn't very good. I like the other 93 Sonic more. I never thought I'd say it, but at least in the 2 that we've watched so far on the Cartoon Express, I have to agree with you. I remember liking this show pretty decently, and maybe we'll get to a point where we see an episode of this show that we actually like. But thus far, that has not happened.
Yeah.
Which means it's time...
I legitimately hated this.
It's time for the wheel, Dan. It's time for the wheel of names. What do we have left here? I love that this website, Wheel of Names, has saved my progress. I bookmarked it, and it keeps track of what we've watched so far.
That's
we've
fun.
We've got some interesting stuff here that we could still land on, including Donkey Kong Country. We have not landed on Donkey Kong Country yet. So,
is this the week that we do?
Is this the one? Let's find out. Here we go. We're spinning the wheel. It's spinning. It's spinning. It's spinning. Where are we going to land? Where are we going to land? Oh my God. And the answer is indeed Donkey Kong Country.
Sweet.
We're heading back
now. I'm
to
excited.
Donkey Kong Country. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Yes, remove Donkey Kong Country. Time to head over to Plex and find out which episode we're watching.
Now I'm excited.
I can't wait. Donkey Kong Country. Shuffle. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I love this already. We will be watching Season 1, Episode 17, Amnesia.
Right to the top. I don't even have to. Yo, I might have to call an audible. We might have to do this next week. Let's fucking get this done.
Amnesia. Oh.
Boy, oh
Okay.
boy.
Let's see if that's actually what this episode is. Because,
because none of this matters.
Season
This
1,
is all
episode
nonsense.
17. Does this match up with IMDb? No, it does not. According to what's it? IMDb season 1 episode 17 is called Kung Fu.
Oh, let's watch them both. I'm down for a two-parter.
We didn't.
No,
sir.
100%.
All right. According to IMDb, this is season 1 episode 23. Either way, we're watching the episode called Amnesia. Boy, Evan's gonna have to get on top of this. The Plex is not serving me up the Donkey Kong Country that I require. But either way,
it really
that's what
isn't.
we're watching. We'll go with the IMDb listing of season 1, episode 23, Amnesia. And with that, we're going to take ourselves our first break. When we come back, we're going to check in with week old news. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from geekade.com. Stick around.
Fucking amnesia. Stop it.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least two of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
Do you miss the days when you'd get a fresh issue of Nintendo Power in the mail every month? It was stacked with reviews, previews, and all manner of cool new stuff about the world of Nintendo, and it even came with a free poster. Well, you don't have to miss those days anymore because Nintendo Force is here. Functioning as a spiritual successor to Nintendo's classic magazine, Nintendo Force is staffed with top-notch writing talent, and me for some reason, to deliver fresh new reviews, previews, and more right to your door every other month. And yes, posters are still included, except ours are double-sided. So if you want the thrill of learning all about the world of Nintendo in physical format, head on over to NintendoForceMagazine.com and learn all about it. Nintendo Force Magazine, the force of Nintendo fans. All right, everybody. Hey, we're back. We made it. We survived. I had a glass of chocolate milk. Man, oh man. This is Donkey Kong Country. Amnesia, Dan.
We got something to look forward to. We got something to look forward to. Yeah.
I'm
Anyway.
going to get to see Ferg next month, and I'm really excited about that.
Wait, where the fuck are you seeing Ferg?
I'm hitting him where he lives. So I'm going on vacation next month to Delaware, and I'm going to take that opportunity to have a meetup with Ferg. We haven't decided what we're doing or even what day it's on, but we're going to make this shit happen. I'm going to hang out with Ferg. I'm really excited about it.
That's awesome. I need to go have sex with Ferg. I mean, I need to go see Ferg. I'm very close to Delaware.
Something on your mind, Dan.
Ferg and I need to dock.
Well, it's time for... my favorites. We all know what Dan's favorite segment is. But my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment, strap yourselves in for Week Old News. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago.
I'm just saying, that motherfucker sent me some Bad Religion and Dinosaur Jr. records. I kind of owe him. Oh. At least a little, You know what? This isn't news, but I want to talk about it anyway.
Okay. Because it's news to me. So we carry on our site a game called Project Neon for Neo Geo from this company Full Set.
Okay.
And what I did not realize was how bazonkers the folks at Full Set are. I've been chatting with one of the guys at the company on our Discord about they've got a new game coming out called Overserved. It's listed on their website right now. And it looks pretty neat. It's a Bomberman-like game, so it didn't really interest me straight away. And then I heard a little bit about the technology that's going in there. He sent me a picture of a thing, and I was like, what is that thing? And then he explained it to me, and I was like, what? Does that mean what I think it means? So Overserved is up on their website. It is coming out. Literally, this goes in a number of... This really goes in a number of directions. So Overserved is coming to Neo Geo. And it is coming with you can get it in a bundle with an AES 4-player multi-tap, which is pretty cool, because the game goes up to 8 players. So it's setting up Neo Geo AES. It's coming to Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn, and Dreamcast. The Saturn version is a cartridge. As in, there's no disc involved at all. The game is just a cartridge. plugs into the cartridge slot, and there you go.
Huh.
Even
That's
wilder
really cool.
is the Nintendo 64 version, which is a Nintendo 64 cartridge that also, in the cartridge, includes Wi-Fi support and Bluetooth support. So that you can
there's
plug
like
in
adapters on the card?
it on the card itself, but it's all wireless. So it just looks like an N64 cart, but you can plug 4 N64 controllers into your 64 and then another 4 wirelessly connect to the cartridge itself and then play online with crossplay across N64, Neo Geo, Saturn, Dreamcast, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Mac, Linux, iOS, tvOS, and Android. This game's coming out on all those platforms with frickin' crossplay.
That is super fucking cool.
How fucking cool is that?
I mean, that's bananas. You
I'm
guys are fucking
absolutely-
maniacs.
I'm blown away by this. Like, I love this idea, and I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen anybody... I mean, I'm not saying nobody's ever done it before, because I can't say that with any certainty, but I've never heard of this before. This is just really cool.
Yeah, that's
apparently
that's
the game
fucking nuts, man.
is quite entertaining too. Andy's a big Bomberman fan, so he was like really impressed when he played the demo of this. I really like that this is the kind of wacky ass technology that I really like to see in the retro gaming scene. Like, this is just absolutely wild. It's pricey. I don't really know what the exchange rate here is on their the full site website. Like, I believe the plan is for us to carry this.
Okay.
On their website, it's AU 149 for a copy on N64. Is that AU dollar? What is that? That's Australian.
I mean, I'm going to guess Australian, but
AU to US dollar exchange rate. Let's say let's calculator. So, okay, so if it was 149.99.
Nope.
Okay, so it's about $100. The exact exchange rate was 105.47. So it's about $100.
I mean, that's pricey for an
It's
N64
pricey.
cart thing,
Not-
but
Not so over the moon pricey. Because, like, let's see, what do
it's
we got
not a
on
Neo
our
Geo
site?
cart. So, like,
That's true. It's not a Neo Geo card, but
You
also
know.
it's an N64 cart with Bluetooth controller support
That's what I'm
and
saying.
Wi-Fi support. So
You
that's kind of amazing. But
spend so
let's
long
see,
wondering
N64
whether or not you could.
Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, like, we have from Bitmap Bureau, we sold Xenocrisis on the N64. That was $89.99. The reprint of Glover from Limited Run, that was $65.99. So, like, an original N64 game, we sold out of Xenocrisis at $89.99, and that didn't even include this other nonsense. So, and Xenocrisis was another pretty cool game. I like this. I'm really enjoying the homebrew scene these days, and I'm trying to get us into more of that. Andy's also a big fan of that. Andy, for anyone listening who doesn't know, Andy's another one of the owners of Stone Age Gamer. He's also a big fan of the homebrew scene, and we've been trying to get a little bit more into that on our site because it's a really neat space to be in. People are doing cool things. We've got a hand. Neo Geo's been performing really well, which will never stop weirding me out that Neo Geo has.
Yeah.
And this is not me. This is not a criticism. It's just one of those things that I can't wrap my head around because of just how unbelievably expensive that hobby is. But we have a decent stack of Neo Geo games on our site that sell regularly and well, like Nalua Studios' Vengeance Hunters. We've sold a ton of those at $400.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if you're in, like, you're just getting everything that comes out. Like, and if you've got the cash to swim in those waters, it's really not like a. I guess it's one of those like what's the old thing of like if you have to ask how much money it is to put gas in a boat, you can't afford the boat.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's just kind of the way it is with Neo Geo collectors of.
Yeah.
I wonder, you know, just kind of in general what the crossover rate is like. Like if you're a Neo Geo collector, do you have a huge NES collection? Do you have a huge Master System collection? Or are you a Neo Geo collector?
That's an interesting question, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like they're also making Project Neon for N64, the pre-order batch, coming around the same time as the other one, the food game I just mentioned that I've already forgotten the name of because my memory is worthless. Overserved, Jesus.
Yeah,
I love that that's a Saturn game on a cartridge, and I'm so curious if we're going to start seeing more of that in the future. Because I, you know, disk drives are disk drives, obviously, but, you know, cartridges just last longer, you know? And it's an interesting way of doing it. Like, the discs must be so much cheaper to produce. I wonder what specifically made them go with... Oh, okay, it's probably because of the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi. That's probably why they just did the whole thing on a cartridge. Because there was that flash cart for Saturn, the Saru, that runs all the games straight through the cartridge slot. Boy, what an interesting thing! I'm just utterly tickled by it. I just love it.
Yeah, it is very cool. It is very, very cool.
So, how does the Dreamcast one work? I wonder. How are you able to do 8 players on Dreamcast? 8-player battles. There's 8 unique arenas. So how do we do the 8-player online matches across Neo Geo, blah, 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 blah. Requires optional Ethernet broadband adapter. Okay. It doesn't really say how you do... Like, I wonder if you can even do local 8-player on Dreamcast. Like, I wonder what the situation there is. Utterly fascinating. I would really like to get the guy who's one of the main guy behind this. I would really like to get him on the show to chat with him because the little bit of chatting I've done with him on Discord, he's an interesting cat who just likes to talk, and that's my kind of guy.
I was going to say that fits in pretty well here.
That fits in pretty well with us. So, anywho, back to actual week-old news because that's probably more than a week old. Who's on first? Week-old news. Let's see here. It was an interesting week this week for Xbox fans. Pure Xbox reported on the... what was this? This was on Monday, which was the 27th. Xbox servers were down for 20 hours, but everything should be working now. So let's see, Monday the 27th at 10:17 a.m. Xbox status page is updated. In addition to issues with digital games, it now seems there's a major outage with disc-based games and backwards compatibility too. And here is the problem that we were talking about before. Just in full effect within a week. Their servers went down and you couldn't use your system.
Yeah.
Like even the stuff that you have downloaded onto your system needs to authenticate. And I have this issue... I run into this issue on the Switch, and it drives me bazonkers when, like, you take the Switch out of the house, and I want to boot up NSO, but I'm in a car, so I don't have fucking Wi-Fi. So it's like, sorry, can't authenticate this. Well, but... it's here. It's on the system. Why do you need to authenticate it? Well, to fight piracy.
Still me. Yeah.
I get it. Piracy is bad, but also, like, you're shooting yourself in the dick as far as making your customers happy. But this here, this doesn't even have the portability problem. This is just Xbox's servers shit the bed, and you can't play shit. Even disc-based games. That's...
there should just really never be a time where you cannot access the thing that you've purchased. Because, yes, piracy bad, sure, whatever. But also, this is how you get piracy. Because That's never going to happen on any of the shmemulated games you have on your computer. It's never going to happen.
Like that's the great
if
thing about
your
that.
computer
like,
turns
you
on,
don't have to be online to
you
play
can
those.
play all of those games with
There is
enhancements and all of those other things that you can do, because there's some really cool shit happening in the emulation space and all of that stuff. And like, look, it's just people want to support developers. They want to support companies, for lack of a better term or whatever, and people want to be able to to purchase these things and have them, but companies have to I mean, well, they don't actually. That's the thing. They don't have to do anything about it, and they're not going to. They're just gonna go, oh, sorry.
They don't currently have to do anything about it. You never know what tomorrow's going to bring, Dan. You really don't. You never know when the bottom is just going to fall out of this shit. And people just aren't going to buy it anymore. Maybe I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm also not going to rule out the possibility that as companies continue to shitify things, that eventually people will just be like, you know what? I've got a lot of games at home. I can just play those. Yeah. Like, how many of us have massive backlogs? Like, maybe it's time to just start clearing out the backlog.
Dude, I mean, I looked... I was going through and I linked up on howlongtobeat.com. You can add like your backlogs and all of that stuff. No, I know. I can't. All I did, I didn't add anything other than my updated Steam list. Okay,
which has to be the biggest one because
I just
Steam.
Just pulled the site up. Let's see. How do I see how long it is going to take me to beat these? I think if I do it by, let's just see, just game time to beat. Let's see if I go down it, because it gives you a total amount of time. I'm gonna see if I can't find. Give me a sec here. Backlog. Is that it? No. Gotta find the way it does this. But it will give you a here's how long it would take to beat everything in your collection. And I think the last time I looked, it was oh yeah, here we go. Hours to beat every game in my collection. So this is just my Steam collection, which is currently listed as 123 games on Steam. It would take me, in total, 82 days and 4 hours of time to beat every game that I have. And that would be playing 24 hours a day.
I honestly thought it'd be more.
There's a couple games.
If I were to do it to my own collection, it would be 850 years.
I mean, there's a couple games on here that are 20 minutes long. You know what I mean? It's just, there's a couple really short things. But again, this is just Steam. This isn't my PlayStation library and games that my emulation library that I've downloaded of I'll definitely play through this weird, obscure Japanese RPG, with a fan patch, all that kind of shit. It's just, there is more than enough hours in all of our collective backlogs that we could not buy any new games for years and be okay. We really would. And I feel like that's true for a lot of people, but then also at the same time, Grand Theft Auto 6, a digital-only game, has all the money in the world in pre-orders. Mm-hmm. Because I mean, there probably will come a point where this industry is going to crash out. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near like it was in the 80s. I just think it's too big to ever get to that. but there is a fucking breaking point.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, we're already seeing it in the live service games. You know, people aren't buying 9 trillion live service games because there's only so many hours in the day. It's
Yeah.
or I don't know. I don't think movies are in quite the same position, but you almost look at the movie industry and be like, all right, well, there were a couple of things that should have been hits in theaters but weren't. Like, here's decent movies that have just shown up in theaters and been dead on arrival. And they do fine on streaming, right? Masters
Masters of the Universe is killing it on streaming.
is doing great on streaming. I heard Supergirl's off to a pretty strong start on streaming.
Yeah.
But, you know, couldn't be
Yeah, I
obliged
mean,
to
you're
go to the
just-
theater to see him.
You're getting those safe bets, right? Like a new Christopher Nolan movie, that dude's got the cachet that people are going to go, you know, kind of flock to see his movies. Spider-Man is going to do very, very well at the box office because it's Spider-Man. This Avengers movie, going to do incredible. You know, things like Backrooms, that movie did really well, comparatively speaking, because its budget was so small and it had really strong word of mouth. But for the most part, like, other than the big, like, surefire things, you know, movies are down too because it's fucking expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
it's all like we're waiting until Tuesday for discount day to bring the kids to go see Spider-Man. I want to be watching Spider-Man right now.
Yeah. It's
No offense to you.
no, none taken. I have already seen Spider-Man, and I want to be watching it again.
I mean, if I could be in the theater watching it with you right now, I would.
That would be wonderful. While recording the
wonderful.
podcast. That would be
Exactly.
great for literally everyone involved. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that whatsoever.
I would just be me sitting there in silence telling you to shut up every time you try to talk.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
The listeners would just hear me hearing the movie and like some heavy breathing. Anyway,
Heavy breathing. Heavy.
what's up?
Heavy breathing.
What's up next?
Pushware
This is
reports
wonderful.
that the newly independent Double Fine has to lay off 23 devs to ensure survival of the studio. Only considered the move to make sure the team survives. This was kind of to be expected, unfortunately. With losing the Xbox money and taking Double Fine, a small studio, and putting it back to independent status, it would have been absolutely shocking if they did not have to cut anybody. Unfortunately, they have had to cut 23 people, which is kind of huge because they are not a huge team. You know, Double Fine is not a studio of hundreds of people. But this, you know, Tim Schafer is a guy I think that has enough goodwill in the gaming community that when he comes out and says things like, look, it was either this is what we had to cut to stay open. You know,
Yeah.
it was this or closure. I think people kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, and you know these aren't jobs being lost to redundancies and consolidation and all of that, and it's just it just continues to be the gift that keeps on giving from Microsoft. Yeah, no good.
No, sir. I don't like it.
This story, though, is great. This is the kind of thing you love to see.
Yeah, this is just warms the heart. GameSpot
It really
reports
does.
EA CEO got a huge pay increase while company laid off devs. Android Wilson doesn't fly commercially anymore as EA CEO racks up millions in pay and stock options, and he's not the only one. It's a little joke stolen from Steph Sterling. Call him
Nor
Android
should he
Wilson.
have to do that anymore, because he's an important, big, high muckety muck. And you just know, Kris, at some point, it's going to start trickling down.
It definitely is.
It's
he's
gonna.
got that the big Saudi Arabia money coming in there.
That should be done within a week or so, I think, is
received
what the
a
last
massive
report said.
$30 million increase in his compensation this year, and he wasn't the only EA executive to reap the rewards. I hate everything about this. Not just that the execs are getting huge pay increases, but again, the Saudi Arabian government getting their hands on an American. This is one of the big American studios, you know?
Yeah.
A pillar of the video game industry, as evil as they are today. Their history is so important to this industry. And it's the EA and Activision seeing what they are today really bums me out. There was this brief period of time where Electronic Arts started to kind of sort of be the company that we wanted them to be. You know, like they were the big evil corporation for sure, and they were always heading in that direction. But there was a period of time where they were like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take some risks. We're going to let some studios make some interesting properties, and we're going to take some risks on those. And that's when we got shit like Mirror's Edge out of EA. They took risks on studios trying to do something interesting. And then the industry was like, yeah, we lost a bunch of money on that, and that's not acceptable. Like, some of them were really cool, and maybe if we stick with them, we could build them into brands, but that's not infinite money right now. So everything became more and more risk-averse, and we just got sequel after sequel after sequel, and of proven brands, and the enshittification continued. But there was a time. There was a time when EA and Activision were going at it. Like, the reason Call of Duty became so popular was because the original Call of Duty games were really good, and they were gunning for Electronic Arts. Activision was trying to become the biggest third-party publisher over Electronic Arts. And like, all right, you got Medal of Honor? Well, check this shit out. And there was competition, and they worked towards that. And then it all got too big and, started eating, pooping all over itself, and I hate it.
I mean, it
stinks, and I don't like it.
They used to be an interesting company. They used to do interesting things, and they didn't just used to be, like what you think of EA now. You know?
I mean, like, they were always big and horrible. Not always. But, like, during that generation, they were pretty big and horrible, but they were less horrible. They were like the evil, where it's like, okay, but there's still some sparks of creativity there. It's still like, people have dreams of working for big game companies so they could make big games that push boundaries and stuff. There was something to it, and it's just so much less of that now. I do want to add a little something in here, just a little piece of joy in this next section. We don't have anything in this next section for media and whatnot, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about did you see the Street Fighter special look?
I saw there was a trailer ahead of Spider-Man that was the Blanca
fight,
Blanca Ryu, and
okay, first off, what is it? Justin Wong, Maximilian Dude, and some other guy are in the audience, like the people behind the bars in this fight scene. So fucking fantastic! Like, this movie's going to be so dumb, but it knows exactly what it's doing. Like, Blanca comes. Blanca comes literally rolling out. Like, he pulls this guy on a chain. He does the zappy zap. You see the skeleton.
You do see the skeleton.
Zappy zap. It's like, oh man. And then he comes out and he rolls out. And he looks like fucking Blanca from the games. He does the kick where he stands on his hands and double foot kicks him. And like, it's Jason Momoa as Blanca. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. I can't wait.
See, and I do not. I wish I had that opinion of it, like, because I'll see it eventually. But everything that I've seen from this movie, and listening to some of the people involved talk about this movie, it almost feels like they're making fun of it. And I know they're not, right? Like, you don't spend this kind of money to make fun of something. But it feels like that's where they're coming from. Instead of taking the material seriously and not taking themselves seriously, it appears to me that they are taking none of it seriously. And I hope I'm wrong. I really, honestly want to be dead wrong about that. It doesn't
look to me like they're making fun of it. It looks like they're having fun with it. That's what it looks like to me. Because
I hope so.
Look, if you could, there is a direction to be taken where you try to do this to a degree seriously. But Street Fighter itself is so inherently goofy when you try to apply even the slightest realism to it, right? It's a cartoon. There's a reason this doesn't work in live action when you take it seriously. Because, like, Nomad Ryu and Ken, Blanca, Guile's stupid fucking hair, like, you can't do that and take it seriously. But you've got to take it, like, just seriously enough. You've got to Masters of the Universe this thing. And I don't know if they're going to achieve that balance. It could really go either way. But this Blanca fight scene, look, I'm a huge Blanca fan. He was my character in Street Fighter 2. Like, Blanca and Guile are my characters in Street Fighter. And I don't know how I feel about what they're doing with Guile, but this fight with Blanca here, just watching...
I mean, I'll tell you, Cody Rhodes is not a good actor.
I can't imagine he is.
I'll tell you that much for free.
But man, I'm watching it again. He comes rolling out, like, he rolls, like...
He does.
It's not Carlos Blanca, this is fucking Blanca. And he's kind of dumb, a little bit goofy and interested, you know? He's having fun, because he's... I don't know, he's kind of an oddball. And he's like, okay, you die.
I think the thing
he's interested in the fireball. Oh, I love it.
I think the thing that bothers me the most about it is the way Ryu says Hadouken.
It's not quite right.
It's not even quite right. It's not right at all. It's not even close. It's just not even close.
I'm listening right now. He winds it up. He starts charging it up. Blanca says, "Oh, okay." Hadouken. I don't know. Doesn't sound off to me.
It's not right.
It's a little bit. So they appear to be doing a little bit more of the Kamehameha, like just a smidge of that in there, because it doesn't have to be throwing like Hadouken in one symbol. I'm not hating it. I'm gonna politely disagree with you. And as the one of the two of us who correctly pronounces Ryu's name, I think I have the high ground.
They say fucking Ryu in the goddamn trailer. Or in the goddamn movie.
Which movie?
This one!
When do they say Ryu?
He says Ryu.
Yeah, Ryu. That's the way you always call him Ryu.
Oh, I know. I do that because it fucking bothers you.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Anyways,
I'm doing that
I think this movie looks like a hoot. A hoot.
Like I said,
a
I really, really, really want to be wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I just, man, it is not doing anything for me. It doesn't have to. It's fine.
It is tickling me. It looks terrible, but with just the slightest twinge of brilliance, and I'm hoping that it can pull it off. I gotta say that one line out of what's his name's Bison, I still don't think he looks right in the role, but I do.
I mean, he looks like Raul Julia.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, he doesn't look like Bison, but neither did Raul Julia.
I'm very like I didn't really know what to expect out of this guy's performance as Bison, and I have to say, after listening to him talk, I'm having a little bit of hope there. This might be an interesting take on this villain. Like, what's going on here? Why is he testing Ryu?
I really, really like that dude. David Dastmalchian is a really good actor. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Count me in. All right,
anyway,
your turn. What's next?
So I put this one in here. It's not 100% video game related, but I do feel that this is where we're going. And I think this is kind of the first step in that direction. Lifehacker reports that Apple will now let you lease your next iPhone, iPad, Mac, or Apple Watch. You do not need to buy your next device. It will let you lease your device through what they're calling Apple Upgrade. Program will let you pay monthly for an iPhone, iPad, Mac, or Apple Watch, and then upgrade at the end of the term. Most devices are covered for the purposes of this, including the MacBook Neo, iPad, but except the ones that are not, which are the MacBook Neo, the new iPad A16, and the Apple Watch SE 3. So they've got some prices here that you can kind of, I think, might give us an idea of what we might be looking at. That no video game companies have announced this, but with the prices these next-gen systems are going to cost, I feel like this is maybe kind of in the ballpark of where we're going to be. Apple is offering 12 and 24-month leasing plans for iPhone and Apple Watch, 24 and 36-month leasing plans for Mac and iPad. Depending on your thing, you can get an Apple Watch from $12 a month, $12 a month for an iPad, $18 a month for an iPhone, or $25 a month for a Mac. Yeah. This is what we're going to be doing for our next systems. I would be shocked if we weren't. Especially if Apple is successful with this. I think the other tech companies look at it and go, yep, that's what we're doing now.
Well, with something like phones in particular, I'm not sure I see this as an overall bad thing. The computer is a little odd to me, but phones in particular are the kinds of things that a lot of people do tend to cycle through those. Like, this isn't really going to amount to a whole lot of difference than what a lot of people already do with their phones, right?
Right.
They'll go to their service provider and they'll buy the phone through them, have monthly payments, and then as soon as those payments are up,
you upgrade.
They upgrade. Yeah, so like that's not really a huge difference there, and if anything, it's actually coming out to being a bit cheaper. Like, I think phone payments aren't usually as low as like $12. That's actually not terrible.
And I'm not. The problem I'm not saying that I think this is a bad thing necessarily. I think this is just going to kind of be where we're at.
What gives me pause is the computers, because I feel like computers are the kinds of things that are intended to last more than like 2 or 3 years, right? Like, you get your phone, you kind of expect it to last. There are people that'll be like, all right, every like 2 or 3 generations of getting a new phone. But a computer is something, and a game console are the kinds of things that you get, and then like if you put it on a credit card, perhaps you will be making those kinds of payments. But then eventually you will own that thing. And it's just like with cars, the difference between leasing and buying. But eventually you will get to own it. Like, eventually I'll go several years without making a phone payment because I will have paid off the phone, and then all I'm paying for is the service after that.
Right.
So like I said, in phones and even to an extent watches, that makes a degree of sense to me. It's the desktop ones, the computer. That's what kind of irks me, because leasing a computer seems like, again, there are certain instances where that would make a lot of sense with like companies. Like, we're going to lease, or schools even. Like, we're going to do a lease on a series of computers, and then in order to stay on the cutting edge so that we don't wind up with a computer lab filled with 20-year-old computers, every couple of years we get to do upgrades and things like that. I think there's a positive to this in this respect. When it comes to video games systems, I feel like that's a horse of a different color and a bit more predatory, for lack of a better term. But like you said, no video game companies have jumped in on this yet.
Yeah.
And maybe PlayStation and Microsoft want to move towards... I mean, they have definitely sniffed in the direction of not necessarily shortening console generations, but iterating as we go. You know, like, well, now we've got a PlayStation Pro, and now we've got a PlayStation Pro Slim. And, like, so every, year or two, we want to swap in for the newer model. Okay.
Yeah, and Nintendo did that to a lesser extent with the OLED, which, I mean, right. I think you'll see a switch to OLED at some point.
Right, at some point. In previous generations, that wasn't that huge a deal because the systems themselves weren't so expensive. So, like,
right.
Okay, if you're crazy enough to go buy a new system, then sure, go buy a new system, but also, at least we're talking about
also
like DS,
prices went
DSi,
down
DS Lite,
when this
exactly,
new thing came out.
Precisely, that's not where we are anymore. So when a switch to OLED happens, what is the business model going to look like for the switch to OLED? That's a question that I've got, because I feel like Nintendo doesn't want to put a more expensive platform on the market right now. Like, that is one of the feathers in their cap as far as like their overall what's the word I'm looking for? Their optics. They are the less expensive option currently. So,
they are. Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting thing. There have been rumors that Microsoft was going to approach this with Project Helix. That some sort of payment plan is what they were looking to do. And here is Apple, one of the biggest tech companies, if not the biggest tech company in the world, kind of laying the groundwork for this to just be a thing that we're okay with and kind of used to as consumers, as far as something other than a phone is concerned. Because you're right.
But what's
phones,
interesting?
We've been doing this forever.
Yeah,
but we're going the fucking rent-a-center model.
But even to get out of phones, it's doing it through them. But Klarna exists. Like, we have Klarna at Stone Age Gamer.
Yeah,
and it's always surprising to me how many people will dive into that. Like, most websites that you buy things online, you can choose to basically go through that site's credit card flavored thing.
Right.
When it's not actually a credit card, but it's like, hey, right now I'm looking at Xeno Crisis for Neo Geo AES on Stone Age Gamer. $45 a month or 4 payments at 0 interest with Klarna. Like, these things exist in a number of ways already. So, but then, like, this is getting it straight from the horse's mouth, like straight from Apple. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see, like, how this goes.
Yeah. Push Square reports the way it was meant to be heard. Tone-deaf Sony pushes vinyl turntable after killing physical games. Quote, now's not the time. This is just beautiful. This is just a piece of internal synergy that they probably should have seen coming.
Probably.
From the article, Sony's decision to cease the manufacture of game discs in January 2028 has led to a substantial and ongoing backlash. Every time the company posts something on social media, it gets dragged through the mud, even when the news has absolutely nothing to do with physical releases. But sometimes the damage is completely self-inflicted. Case in point, Sony went ahead and posted about its new turntable last night. At a glance, that's nothing too crazy. The firm has to advertise its products after all, but the Twitter update is drawing serious ire because how it's framed. Rediscover the warmth, detail, and ritual of vinyl with the LX3 turntable. Drop the needle, press play, and enjoy music the way it was meant to be heard, reads the frankly tone-deaf marketing. Indeed, it's not the kind of statement you want to be making when your company is already being slaughtered for abandoning physical media in a different field of entertainment. The timing is just poor. So yeah, they're very naturally getting dragged for this because that is a very, very silly thing to be advertising, like, look at this thing that we make that specifically plays physical media, while in this other medium, we're saying, fuck physical media. Like, one hand, talking out one side of your mouth, fully recognizing that there is a market for physical media, while killing it out of the other side of your mouth. It's something.
I get it. I disagree that this was such a huge misstep on their part. Mostly because
it's not a huge misstep. It's just dumb.
Not a huge misstep, or even any of that. I mean, there is no tangible difference to a physical game versus a digital game. There just isn't. There is a tangible difference to
in terms of gameplay,
audio quality,
not in terms of the way you play it.
What do you mean?
So a digital game, like you said, there is a tangible difference. In fact, one of them is physically tangible. The other one is not. A physical game comes with packaging, comes with a thing you put on your shelf to collect into a library that you can take off a shelf and put into a system and play when you want to forever, kind of a thing. In theory, when you're not dealing with all these online checks and whatnot. But that's physical games, right?
That's
especially when we're talking about
issue,
older games on older platforms that if you put a Super Nintendo cartridge in a Super Nintendo versus playing the digital version of that same game on Nintendo Switch Online, it is going to look different. It is going to play different on a CRT than it does on a modern television. There is a difference between that kind of thing. It is not as easy as, putting a record on a turntable and having it play differently, having it sound differently, but the same notion of the intentionality of picking up a record and putting it on a turntable versus picking up a game and putting that into your game system, that degree of intentionality of this is what I'm going to do with my time, rather than picking a random thing from an existing digital library, that is the difference right there. That is a big part of the difference.
I get that part. I didn't see it as that was what they were going for in this particular ad. But yeah, I mean, it just the whole fucking thing.
Well, I mean,
silly.
they literally say the warmth, detail, and ritual. Like they specifically called out the ritual of vinyl in this post. To which Does It Play responded, somebody told the guys at PlayStation, apparently physical media is worth supporting, even if it is a small niche. PlayStation games are much bigger than vinyl, yet for some reason, they feel the need to kill gaming culture for profit. Like, that's what we're talking about here. If they didn't specifically call out the ritual, which is picking up the thing and putting it on there because you're making this decisive choice to say, I am going to listen to this music right now, then I would see your point. But they did call that out. They weren't just calling out the sound quality.
I suppose that's fair. I wonder just kind of how many people who prefer physical games, right? Like, what do you... So you have this option for a lot of titles. What do you do? Like, if you were going to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, do you go through and get your copy of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and open the box and do all that? Or do you play it through, the fuck is it called?
EverDrive.
The EverDrive, yeah. Do you play it through the EverDrive? Obviously, right, that's still on the CRT and doing that.
Exactly. If I didn't have the EverDrive for something like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, if I really want to... I honestly do both. Like, if I'm upstairs I'm not to play it.
Yeah, I'm not like this bit. Wasn't like this wasn't a leading question to try and like set it up one way or another. I'm genuinely curious of like when you have the option for both. Like, do you just leave an EverDrive plugged in and look at the thing on the shelf, or but it's not a thing I do. I don't know how that works.
Most of the time I have the thing on the shelf and I look at it, or like that's how I'll choose to play the games instead of like, so if I'm down here and like I feel like playing an NES game, if I turn on the EverDrive and see the menu, I'll just be like, too much choice. But if I look at my wall and I pick up a box and I look at it and say, that's the one that I want to play, then I'll go over to the EverDrive and I'll turn it on and that's how I'll play the game. But I'll still be playing it on the CRT. If I didn't have the EverDrive, I'd probably be playing the cartridge. However, I also do play it on the Switch sometimes because the input lag on the Switch is low enough that I can play up to Mr. Dream without really feeling it. Like, I can get through 99% of that game without it feeling like it's a problem. But again, it kind of depends on the game and kind of what mood I'm in. As far as like whether or not it's playable. Like, Animal Crossing, I just flat out bought that digitally because that game, I knew I did not want to play that game physically. I wanted to just be able to turn on the system and let that roll. I didn't want to have to put a cartridge in every time I want to play that game. The Animal Crossing was kind of an outlier there. I would like to have a physical version of that just to have on my shelf to be like, sure, this is part of my library. This game means a lot to me because of the time I put into it, just like Just Shapes and Beats that I just bought. I'm probably not going to play that off the cartridge in the future, but that game meant a lot to me, so I wanted to have that thing in my collection. But generally speaking, if I'm playing it, I'm fine with just playing the digital version. It really does depend on a game-by-game basis. Like, if I want to play Mega Man, I will play it on the Switch, but it doesn't work quite right on the Switch. There's a weird emulation issue where the sound is not perfectly synchronized with the visuals, and it's something that I've not been able to fix in either of the anniversary collections. So if I want to play it for a few minutes, sure, I'll do that upstairs. But if I really want to play it, I'll probably come downstairs and boot it up on my CRT or play the original. Well, I usually won't play the cartridge because I do have the EverDrive. I have that there. That's exactly the same, but I'll want to play it the original way. It kind of works on a game-by-game basis. But there are also things like Mega Man that have a distinct look on a CRT. That's the real analog between listening to vinyl versus listening to digital music, is the similar to like playing old games on a CRT versus playing them on modern televisions. And there are continuing to make more and more strides towards being able to emulate that CRT situation on modern TVs with stuff like, misters and all that whatnot that reproduce the scan lines. But there's something about that analog signal. There's something about that just the hum of a TV that is it just hits different. It just is.
And that's not even necessarily like a fair comparison, right? Because that's not what we're talking about currently. Right. I mean, I know I asked the question just because, like I said, I was curious. I haven't had a CRT TV in 20 years, 25 years. I can't remember the last time I hooked up a system to a CRT. Once I do eventually expand the office, I'm going to pick up, my aunt has a CRT. It's like a little 13-inch TV or whatever. So I am going to grab that from her and, I might hook up the Nintendo or just to have the option, right? I've got my eye on a ColecoVision. You know who you are. And like, I certainly feel like playing a ColecoVision on original hardware with the controller is like an important part of the experience and whatnot. But that's not even necessarily what the issue is. Like, I when I say there's no tangible difference between the game and the digital, I'm talking about like current gen shit. You know what I mean? There's not a tangible difference between playing God of War Ragnarok on the disc versus digitally. So more what I meant by that in how it's, there is a tangible difference to vinyl, and like you said, to the CRT, and when we're talking about NES games, Super Nintendo games, absolutely, don't disagree with you. But like, I don't see, maybe I'm wrong, I'm not. I don't see the difference between playing Death Stranding 2 physically versus digitally, other than just, I want it physically. You know what I mean?
Well, that was more again, it's that ritual, it's that intentionality. It is the physical tangibility. Like, if we're not even talking about old games, we're talking about new games. There is I'm going to pick up a thing and put it into this system because this is the game that I want to play, versus sitting there and scrolling through a menu of various digital things. There's the intentionality of, I'm going to put this on, which is the same thing as which a big part of, at least in my world, of listening to vinyl. It's like, no, I'm going to listen to this. So I'm not going to like play this game for 5 minutes and then switch to another game. I am going to play Star Fox because I'm going to stand up and I'm going to put that cartridge into my Switch and I'm going to play Star Fox. Like, I'm going to play Rhythm Heaven. That's what I'm going to do. There's the intentionality of it. There's the ritual. That is the tangible difference between a physical media and digital media in the current day. It doesn't also have that fidelity thing, but that is a part of it.
Yeah.
Phillies are down 6-4, by the way. They are currently blowing it. They are currently just shitting the bed. They're doing it live right here.
In process.
They're in the process. Now it is our pitching just completely fell apart. Like, it's the 7th inning. Our first relief pitcher came on and let some runs in. Now our second relief pitcher just let a few more on. Like, they just tied it up, and now there's 2 more runs just came in. That's just the way we play. That's just the way we do things. Now, hopefully, we can get our feet underneath us and continue to score for the next couple of innings and see if we can actually make this ball game. But this is what happens with us. We'll score everything up front and then not be able to score for the rest of a game. And this is what I want to see if we can pull off. Can we come back from this?
It's one of the biggest
Fingers
crimes of modern baseball, right? Because what inning is it?
7th.
7th inning. Okay. So, and you're on your second relief pitcher. So your starter went, 5 innings? And
our starter went 6 innings. We had a guy show up in the beginning of the 7th, blew 2 runs, and then they were like, "You're out," because they gave up 2 runs and also had 2 on, and was like, "Okay, this isn't working. Get out of here."
But even that, like, the way modern baseball is structured, right, is that you have to get 27 outs, right? 27 outs, game's over. So really, when you start to think about it in terms of like, where am I getting those outs? In modern baseball, you're asking your starter to get 15 of those 27. So you're asking one guy to get you like 15 of those, right? And then you're asking maybe 3 to 4 other guys to come up with those other 12. And you're asking those guys to do it every single day versus the starter, who you're asking to do that once a week. And when you think about it in terms like that, you can see why it starts to fucking fall apart. Like, ever since starters stopped going 7 innings regularly, you know, the reliance on bullpens has gotten just absurd. And you see this kind of shit of like, oh, we were up 6-2 and we lost 15-8. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, oh, you got into your bullpen too early.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be a thing back in the 90s. Like, that's what made the 1990s Yankees so fucking special as a team, was that they would work the count to the point where they would get to the bullpen earlier than any other team. And then they would beat up on the team's bullpen. You know, and then their starters, in turn, would go out and pitch 7 or 8 innings, give the ball right to Mo, or you would go, you know, your starter to Jeff Nelson, then to Mariano Rivera, and the game was over. That's just not the way baseball is anymore. It's a weird thing.
It is a weird thing. We also very much need our bats to wake the fuck up. Like, we're not scoring in the back half of the game. Now, a lot of times it could just come down to like, could we just score past the 4th inning? Wouldn't that be great?
I mean, ideally, that's what you want.
All right, let's get this road on the show. We need to get this moving.
What you don't want is what Nintendo Life reports. Final Fantasy devs think other remakes would probably go beyond a trilogy. Which, no, don't do that.
What are you talking about?
Stop that.
Final Fantasy VI is not a longer game than 7, right?
It's definitely not. And it definitely doesn't need to be.
No. Why would that need to be expanded into like a quadrilogy or quintology or Scientology or whatever the hell?
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake series will reach its conclusion next year. Final Fantasy XIV game director Naoki P. Yoshida responded to a question about this at a fan fest in Berlin. He said, "I understand the feelings of players, but you've got to think about it. Look at Final Fantasy VI. It's an incredibly huge game. The scale is immense. Same applies for other titles like Final Fantasy VIII or IX. If we did remake those other titles, we'd probably end up having to release them in 4 installments or maybe even 5 installments. Look, Final Fantasy VI is a fucking brilliant game. It's a big game. It doesn't need to be 5 fucking modern Blu-rays." Just like, what are you doing, man? Fuck, dude. No, that's not it. That's not it. Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that.
I don't understand that notion. That's just silliness right there. Anywho's, Time Extension reports, "The blood drained from my face. 97 copies of never-before-seen Super Mario Bros. Variant found in Wisconsin Retro Store." This was a slightly less exciting story than I thought it was going to be. It's just it's not like there's some sort of strange variation in there's a bunch of Mario Duck Hunts that were unopened, basically. But they're just later printings. They're later printings than anyone thought existed of Mario Duck Hunt. So that's what makes them a variant. It's not like the label's not fundamentally different or anything like that. It's just these are later, and a handful of them got graded at a 10, as in they were just as perfect as could possibly be, rolled right out of the factory kind of a thing. It's a neat thing to have discovered.
It is.
I still don't like grading games.
Stop grading your games.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I like grading games.
Again, it really does make me angry.
I understand the purpose, its original purpose. Like, I get that of like, okay, if you bought a graded comic book on the internet, then you would know what condition it was in because it's been certified to be in that condition, not just like some dude said this is a near mint plus. Like, no, this has been certified. Then you get it, you open it, and now it's yours. But then, like, the sealed graded thing became a thing. And it's like, okay, that's just dumb. Because if I take this graded, sealed coffin comic book, put it in an attic for 20 years, and the heat makes the pages all brittle, is it still a 9.5? No, it's been baking in an attic for 10 years. Whatever. It makes even less sense with video games. You can't even... You can't even do any of the thing. I don't understand, especially when you start getting into like the fucking weeds of that shit, where like you could send it to this company and get a 10 and send it to this company and get an 8. Well, how the fuck can that be different? How is that different? Depends on the mood of the guy grading the games that day, you know?
Well, then it's not actually grading.
Exactamundo.
then it's not actually grading. It's just an educated wish. To fucking quote Deadpool. Anyway, Time Extension reports this homebrew dev is daring to ask, what if Final Fight had received a faithful Super Nintendo port? The SNES port is limited to 2 characters, obviously Cody and Mike Hagar, and is missing some levels. However, the most egregious omission is the removal of the 2-player option. Over the years, we've seen various ports make up for these shortcomings, with GBA's really, really excellent Final Fight 1, putting things right on the Nintendo hardware. Homebrew developer Valdir Salguiro is aiming to see if it's possible for the Super Nintendo to host a more accurate conversion of the game. That is really cool.
Yeah, because there's also a homebrew dev working on a Mega Drive port, Genesis port of Final Fight. That's like really cool and close to the arcade original. It's like, well, why wouldn't somebody do that for Super Nintendo? Because that's awesome. And here they are.
Because boy, does that game hit different on the Super Nintendo. It's like, well, no, this isn't quite it.
I loved the Super Nintendo port, but I had never played the arcade version, right? So I hadn't played the arcade version, but, you know, once you've played Final Fight the way it was meant to be played, and you go back to the Super Nintendo, and it's like, all right, well, you know, it sure looks and sounds the part. It's not awful. It plays well. It looks great. It sounds fantastic. It just is missing that 2-player component that's really important. But you know, it went on to sell a bajillion copies because it's still inherently fun. I mean, at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with playing a beat-em-up single-player, especially when the story is, I'm the mayor. I'm going to beat up crime with wrestling moves.
Like with wrestling moves and a snazzy fucking shoulder strap.
Like, there is something
and eventually a
inherently amusing about, like, not doing a 2-player. Just, like, when you're Cody and it's 1 player, that's fine. But when you play Final Fight single player as Hagar, it just becomes a much more masterful experience of just like, no, I'm doing this by myself. I don't need a ninja or my daughter's boyfriend. I am the fucking mayor. Me and my mustache are going to clean up the streets.
So, Ron, who? Fuck off. Mike Hagar is my mayor. If you, as an aside, if you've never watched The Ballad of Mike Hagar on YouTube, it is, boy, is it fucking spectacular.
I have not. I will have to track that down.
Oh, it is something.
But as much as I am excited about all things Final Fight, I am also excited about Go Nintendo reporting that DIY Dadish has been announced for Switch. Is this truly newsworthy? I don't know. But it made me smile. It is to me. I love Dadish, and I know that is my understanding that Thomas Young is working on a Dadish 5, right? So Dadish would be back at the end of a Dadish 4. So I assume a Dadish 5 is coming, but in the meantime, we have DIY Dadish, which is Dadish Maker with some really wonderful music playing during the trailer. It's like a really cool version of the menu music from, I want to say this was Daily Dadish's menu music. Oh, just, this makes me so happy. There's been a homebrew Dadish, what's called Super Dadish Maker, has been floating around for ages. So this is just Thomas Young making a official version, and it just looks awesome. Wonderful. It just looks great. Listen to the description here. First off, in the trailer, you've got, because one of the things you can also do is the dialogue, and it says, "Whoa, user-generated dialogue. What could go wrong?" Let's see. Craft your own action-packed platforming adventure. Deploy exploding soda cans, hostile hamburgers, spikes, saws, cannons, and a whole lot more. Create your own funny dialogue between Dadish and his kids. Share your creations with your friends and the world. Over 100 placeable game objects, 15 different level themes, 12 playable characters, fun for new players and longtime Dadish fans, easy to use for younger players. Some levels will be amazing. Others will be terrible. Fantastic.
Yeah, love that.
All of that's true. Love it to death. And I'll have more to say about Thomas Young in the checkpoint.
Well, in that case, Push Square reports that Fable PS5 has run uncomfortably beyond budget.
I love that phrase.
That is not what you want. Microsoft first announced its new Fable game, a reboot of the satirical RPG series by Forza maker Playground Games, back at E3 2020. 7 years later, the title will finally launch on PS5. And yes, Push Square, that is a long-ass time.
Yeah,
to be fair to Xbox Game Studios, the title likely would have launched this holiday if it wasn't for GTA 6, but the company said it was delaying it to give it the dedicated moment it deserves. To which Sony says, I see what you're saying. However, God of War Laufey will be coming a day before Fable launches in early access. So yeah. Because I don't know that I'm right, but I feel like the crossover audience between God of War Laufey and Fable is pretty big. It doesn't include me. I wasn't buying Fable. It's just never been my thing. I hope this game does really well. I think it looks fun and interesting if you're into this sort of thing. But I would imagine that there are a lot of people that were excited about Fable. And now if you're sitting there and you're a PlayStation gamer, right? That's the console that you've picked. a big reason is God of War stuff. And I know that there's been a pretty vocal minority on social media tearing this new God of War game down. But it's going to be fucking dope. It's going to be great. It just is. And it's going to do really, really well. And if you're sitting there saying, yeah, but it's a girl and it's a gelatinous cube, and it's like, I'm sorry you hate fun. That sucks for you.
It's okay for things to be fun sometimes.
Yeah, it's just fine. It's just fine. It's going to be really interesting to see how this impacts it. Because, man, uncomfortably beyond budget is not what you want to hear when you're now launching against a new God of War thing.
No, not so much.
Not so much. Just also, we do, like, here's what I don't understand. People do know how to make video games, right?
Theoretically, yeah.
Okay. How do so many things continue to be like, I mean, we thought it was going to cost $20, but now we're like $7 million into this. Like, what the fuck, guys? What are you doing? I don't get it. I mean, I legitimately don't get it. I don't know how to make video games, but I just, we hear about this kind of thing so often that I just wonder what the fuck is actually happening. I don't know.
I don't either, Dan.
No.
But we're going to finish things off. We have one last story. Time Extension reports Atari and Twin Galaxies are teaming up to launch a new Atari World Championship, bringing the original retro spirit and arcade energy of competitive gaming back. Yeah, let's see. The Atari World Championships, according to this announcement, will kick off with an open online tournament, which will leverage Twin Galaxies' 40-plus years of experience in competitive gaming and record authentication to ensure only the best advance.
That's cool.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. That'll lead to a live in-person grand finals competition where a winner will eventually be decided. I wonder what they're going to be playing.
I don't know. Shoot rocks?
I sure hope so. All right. I think that's it for week old news, and that is it for my ability to keep sitting and not just stand up and vomit at the Phillies.
Ugh. Nobody wants that.
No, not so much. So we're going to take ourselves another little bit of a break here. When we come back, we'll do a little check-in with the Checkpoint. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. Right, everybody, we have returned. I didn't even ask Dan if we were ready to be back. I just started talking because that's where we are.
That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. You're fine. Everything's fine. It's fine.
It's all good.
It's fine. It's very good. It's time to check in with the checkpoint.
Checkpoint!
This is where Dan and I talk about what we've been up to. We talked a little bit before the show about Spider-Man. I haven't seen it yet, so we're going to hold off on that conversation until next week. In the meantime, my phone turned off again. My phone was just like, no, fuck you. You don't watch it. You don't want to watch the Phillies lose. Come on. You don't want to watch this.
You don't want that.
But maybe I want to see the big comeback. Maybe that's what I want to see. Maybe I want to see them pull this shit off. Right? I believe. I'm good at believing. I'm an optimist. I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
Are you?
I am. I am an optimist. I am a glass half full. You know, either the glass is half full or we're dead. You know?
What? One of the two.
Anyhoozles, yeah, so we'll talk about Spider-Man next week after I've seen it. In the meantime, I don't have a lot to discuss. I did play a little bit of I wrote another one of my 8-bit brawl articles where I compare an NES and Master System game, and I did Bubble Bobble, and I spent some proper time with the Master System version of Bubble Bobble for the first time, and I know, not to spoil the article too much, but I will say that I gave the points to Master System Bubble Bobble. I think overall it's the better version. It's got some really cool stuff in it that I didn't really realize that it was an expanded version of the game. It's got, you know, more levels. It's got a lot more of the arcade content of like the bonus rooms and stuff like that. Yeah. It does have some technical issues. Like it's not quite as zippy or smooth as the NES one. It does have some pretty nasty flicker, but the NES one has some pretty nasty flicker too. All in all, it's pretty good stuff, and I love playing the Master System. The Master System is such a neat console. I love playing that thing.
Yeah, it is a great console.
I also discovered that Thomas K. Young released a game that I didn't know about 3 months ago. I had no idea. I don't know why this didn't show up in my YouTube algorithm because I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel, but apparently there was a trailer for it that should have showed up in my feed at one point around 3 months ago. But anyway, the game's called Oh Jellies. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, so this is just Puyo Puyo, but like single player. And I didn't realize quite how, like, what that would really mean when I was looking at it. But it really does. It's the core tenets of Puyo Puyo, but in a very different context.
Right.
So, the Phillies lost. Good job, guys.
Your phone was trying to help you.
Yeah, you know, it's the Bart Simpson "you tried" cake meme. You know, like you tried.
Yeah, you tried,
and you just shit the bed all over the place in the
You did it.
Yeah. So, Oh Jellies, instead of blobs, they're jellyfish, and they're very cute. And
naturally.
It is the exact same what's the word? Basic mechanics of Puyo Puyo, right? These jellyfish connect the same way blobs do. You get 4 of them to connect in any way, shape, or form, and they will disappear. The things that are different about it is that instead of only being bits of 2, there can be like, you know, either 2 of them or 3 of them. For forming different shapes. So you're not just doing 2 blobs. You also can't rotate them. You have to play them in the position that they show up. But also, the game's internal gravity is different. Like, the pieces don't show up and then fall like in a game of Tetris. It's more like the more slower paced things. Like I'm trying to think of a good example of it. Like the puzzle mode at Tetris, where it's like you get to choose when the piece shows up. So like you get 3 pieces. So the playfield is rectangular, not quite as tall as a typical puzzle game. But then there's 3 pieces at top. Like right now, I just booted up the game, and I've got a red and a yellow that are horizontal. I got a red and a yellow that are vertical, and then I've got a 3-piece that's 2 greens and then a purple one connecting them in the shape of an L. And I can pick these pieces in whatever order I want and place them wherever I want. And whatever I place them, they'll fall straight down like you're plopping down a Tetris piece. And they will act just like they would act in Puyo Puyo. Like, if you put like one on top and there's one to the right, that one on the right will fall down. The gravity works exactly like in Puyo Puyo, except you have less control. You have more control over what your pieces are, but less control over what you can do with those pieces. And after you play those 3 pieces, 3 new ones will show up. But you won't get new pieces until you've played all 3 of the existing ones.
Okay.
And it just kind of goes from there. It's so it's like a much more relaxed version of Puyo Puyo. Which is very cool because I love Puyo Puyo, but it is it's a high intensity puzzle game. And this is taking the basic premise of it and making it not high intensity. And you just play until you don't have any moves left. And as soon as you don't have any moves left, that's when your game ends, and you play until you can't. And it's really quite fun. And I'm doing it right now. I'm playing right now as if the world didn't exist. It's very addictive.
I'm looking at gameplay of it right now on YouTube, and it does look pretty wonderful.
Yeah, it doesn't have his specific art style. Like this, it looks a little bit different than his other games, but it's also nice. Like it's very much a mobile game, but also not like I bought it, which it was $8. Which is kind of spicy, kind of more than I really wanted to spend on it, but also I got real sick of the ads real quick, which I guess is kind of the trick. Yeah, it worked.
They got you.
I certainly fell for that, but also I've already gotten $8 worth of joy out of this, and so has Karen. I was like, yo, you got to try this, and it's a very similar to like Suika game in that it's just like one of those things that it's a very cozy go to bed kind of thing. Like I can play while sitting in bed instead of doom scrolling, and I kind of like that and kind of need that. So this is certainly scratching an itch, and it's a really fun game. And Thomas Young continues to be undefeated in my house. I will. Oh, you can also do sometimes 4 show up, not just 2. Sometimes 4s show up, and that's kind of cool. I will say that the Super Faust games didn't really do it for me, but not through really a fault of theirs. It's just like those aren't really they don't really play to my sensibilities. They're still pretty cool, but they don't quite play to my sensibilities like this game does. Oh, I'm so close to being able to do something with that jellyfish. Anyways.
That's what she said?
The only other thing I have to talk about is Moss. It was fine.
Did you finish the second one?
I didn't finish the second one. I ran out of time before I had to hand in my review, but I played enough of it to hear you loud and fucking clear. Yes, the second one is better than the first one. Like
so much better.
So much so that I'm really kind of bothered that they didn't do more to
the first one.
Not that they didn't do more to the first one, but they didn't do more to separate it from the first one. Like, it wouldn't have felt like it was, oh, the second one is so much better. Because the first one just kind of stops. You know, it's like the first one just, you get through that the big snake boss, and it's like, okay, but...
And then it's just kind of over.
we're like, okay, there we go. Now we're done. Now we move on to book 2. But there's also like, book 2 is just the rest of the game. It's just more of the game. So why did they even continue to have it separated in this instead of just making it continuous? Like, I know you would lose that recap, I guess, but who the fuck cares? Like, I just played it. Just make the game continue and make this all one continuous thing. But yes, then as soon as you start playing the second chapter, like the first chapter is like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
Because when you were talking about it, I was like, I agreed with a lot of your points, but like there are some major issues with the way this game was translated from. Like, this game was so clearly designed to be a selling point for VR. Like, this is built to be viewed in stereoscopic 3D, and they didn't do enough to make the game readable not in stereoscopic 3D. And that was a huge problem. There are some major gameplay problems with this game. Its character was just enough to make the first chapter interesting to get to that interesting last boss. It was interesting enough. But, like, I wanted to stop after the first chapter because it was like, I think I've seen enough. But in the first couple of minutes of the second chapter, you get the ability to grow plant life, and now you can climb on walls and build bridges, and it's like,
you're like, son of a bitch, this is so much better.
All right, so now we're interesting. Now we're introducing new interesting mechanics. You get new weapons that, like, the thing that you throw, and you can, like, then make it come back to you at a different angle, kind of a thing. The enemies what are their pill bugs that roll up into balls and then explode? Like, it continues to introduce new things throughout the rest of the adventure. I still think you're insane for rating it as high as you did. Because those problems of the not being able to view it in stereoscopic 3D, the fact that the game was built around being able to move your head to move the camera, and you can't move the camera at all, and the fact that chapter 1 is still part of that game. Like, the first half of it is still just okay. Like, I understand that it gets its shit together in the end, and it does have this great personality. But by the time I had finished it, I was like, I see what's here, and then I watched the rest of it because, like, I just didn't have the time to get through it before I had to write my review. Even still, like, I couldn't give it any higher than, like, I think I gave it a 7.5. Because that's just as high as I was willing to go with it, because all those other things, as good as the rest of it gets, those other problems still existed. They never really overcame. Like, this is such a great case for a game in VR, and I'm really glad that it made that transition. But moving a cursor around to be the reader just can't replace what it was designed to be, of you using your hands. Like, when you're doing the whole bit with the reading the book at the beginning, it's like every time you want to turn a page, you've got to grab the page with a button and then move your analog stick to flip the page. That got old after 2 pages, but you got to keep doing it every single time you get there. It's like, okay, now this is a stupid gimmick. This is just dumb. Let me just turn the page by pressing a button. And making me move the analog stick to turn a page is dumb. And so much of the stuff in the world, like when you get that plant ability, for example, and you have to keep moving, make a vine bridge show up, and then you have to climb up that thing, and then while you're up there, you make the bridge move to a different place. Like, I can imagine that with a PlayStation Move controller or whatever they're using now on the VR thing, you moving your hands to do that being very natural, but moving it with the cursor is like, it's fine, but it's not. It's not great. And then there's what you told me about how often you can see yourself in the camera. And I saw some footage of that online of playing it in VR and seeing as you're playing a stage, if there's a body of water, if you move your head in the right direction,
you can see yourself.
The reflection of the reader. That level of immersion is just not there because they removed the ability for you to move the camera, which is completely fucking nonsensical. I understand that both analog sticks are being used, but you could have made it so you hold a button to be able to move the camera just a little bit. Because these stages are they reminded me a lot of playing Captain Toad, And Captain Toad, you have full camera controls because each stage is basically a little diorama, right? You go into a room and it's like, here's this little diorama full of puzzles. And you can't rotate it all the way, but that's just kind of the way this game works. It's very segmented in these like, and now here is this room with these puzzles and this room with these puzzles.
Yeah,
and
like each room is almost like an escape room unto itself.
Right, and it's a lot more interconnected than, say, Captain Toad, where it's literally stage to stage to stage. But that it reminded me a lot of playing that game, and it brought that same kind of delight because the puzzles are very rewarding, but it just didn't quite make that transition. And those frustrating jumps that kept happening throughout the course of the adventure, where it's like, okay, but where am I in 3D space in relation to this platform? Because the lighting in this game is not built around me not being able to see this in literal 3D. And it just didn't quite work. And those kinds of missteps, as great as the good things in the game were, they just weren't enough to overcome the frustrations that were built into it not making as smooth a transition as it probably should have to viewing it on a standard 2D television versus viewing it in stereoscopic 3D with a VR headset. But I still like it overall. It's a very cute game.
And I knew kind of going into it, right, that I was going to be a little bit more biased towards it because, like, I knew what I was doing, right? Like when I got to those bits of like the things that you're saying, where like I didn't know where I was in 3D space. I knew where I was. I already knew what the what I had to do. Mm-hmm. So those things like didn't stand out to me as like, oh, this is maybe a problem. And I, like I said, I figured I was going to be higher on this than a decent amount, but like, I'm not crazy far off. Like I'm looking at the Metacritic for it right now. It's got an 85 on Xbox. It's got an 80 on PS5, an 81 on PC, and a 79 on Switch 2. And our review, or my review, I guess, for ZTGD, I don't know that I get to say our, it's not the highest one. Somebody, for Switch 2 gave it a 95. And again, I wonder how much of
bonkers.
I wonder how much of that is, people just trying to get their score to show up at the top.
Up on,
which is not at all what I was going for. I just honestly love that game, and I just think it's so fucking charming, and just really, really like it. I'm glad you didn't hate it.
Oh God, no! It's a well-made game, but the whole time I was playing it, I just kept it kept reminding me that I'm playing a very compromised version of it, and not because it doesn't run well on Switch 2. It runs great. Right. But like, it runs perfectly. It's just like whenever it stops the game, like the first 2 times I think that the game absolutely ground to a halt, stopped dead in its tracks, and Quill is holding her hand up, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah,
and I just tap a button, and then I give her a high five, and I'm like, oh, that's cute, and that is a very cute thing. But I immediately was like, man, that would have been really cool with a 3D VR controller to fake that high five instead of pressing a button to high five the character. Like, I can see why this character becomes more endearing when you're in this virtual reality space. But still, the fact that you would have to do those kinds of things, where one of the things that I liked so much about it was how expressive Quill as a character is. Like, when she's scared or sad, that comes through in the animations really, really well. But also, when she's excited and exuberant and high fives you for solving a hard puzzle or beating a boss or getting through a particularly difficult combat section, that's really cool. There's a lot of good here, but boy, was this game made for VR.
You can see how when I played that on VR originally, I was like, VR is the fucking future. They figured it out. This is amazing. Like, because it really was. It was just such a different experience. Holy shit. this is what VR gaming should be. I'm looking around fucking corners and I'm high-fiving this adorable little fucking mouse and like, this shit is fucking great. And then literally nothing else came out that was like it. I was like, oh man, but like they set the blueprint, you know?
But like how many more games could really do this? Like, this is very specific. It is,
but like
diorama puzzle solving and that level of immersion is very specific. Like, it's neat to see. This is the best test case I've ever seen for VR, like without a doubt. Playing through and not even having played it in VR, just being able to imagine this in VR. Okay, this works. I get it, but I don't know what else you make. It's reminding me of like Rayman Legends on Wii U, where it's like, okay, this is amazing. I understand the point of the Wii U gamepad from playing this game with asymmetric gameplay. That's very cool. But how many more experiences can you really come up that will do this, that warrant an entire system based around it? And that's kind of where I'm looking. That's where I'm at with VR, except it's been out forever.
Yeah, that is absolutely a fair question, right? And nobody else has been able to solve it yet.
Yeah.
Because as good as Moss was in VR, and as good as something like Beat Saber is, obviously very, very different game.
Right, but again, no, that's a good point. Beat Saber is another one of those things. But Beat Saber also, I don't think Beat Saber is so much proof positive of the VR situation, because I do believe that Beat Saber would work just fine with 2 motion controllers on a TV. But
probably. But what I was going to say was, even with those 2 really good examples, neither of them are still like, all right, but you have to play this.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not the killer app. And I don't know that that's ever going to exist for VR. You know, I certainly really, really enjoy VR gaming. I think it's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of really great experiences with it. But there's still not that thing that you can look to and definitively say, this is the experience that is going to get everybody on board. I mean, other than like recreating the Lawnmower Man, which is all I want out of life. I just want to be Job. That's all I'm looking for.
Okay.
I just want to fuck up Pierce Brosnan in VR. If you could just let me do that, that's really like, that's what I'm going for.
God, I hate that movie.
I know you do.
I'll tell you what I don't
hate. Movie.
Let me tell you what I don't hate. And this is not something that I did. It is just something that has been popping up. It is something that Hershey knows to advertise to me specifically.
Oh,
they're 100% correct. And I don't just love this. I love what it represents. Reese's Pieces chocolate cookie. They're currently only available on Hershey's website. But it is Reese's Pieces with chocolate cookie inside of it. Now, this sounds amazing to me. I love me a good chocolate cookie. And I love Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces are my favorite candies. I like them more than M&Ms. I love Reese's Pieces. What this brings to the table, a level of excitement to me, is that up to this point, things inside of them have been an M&M's thing, right? M&M's do peanut butter, and all the wacky flavors and stuff. Reese's Pieces are Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces minis are kind of like, that's the best we're going to get.
Right.
Which is just more Reese's Pieces. But the notion of taking things and putting them inside of Reese's Pieces, similar to the way that M&M's have been doing that with chocolate, now we're talking. Give me peanut Reese's Pieces. Because holy shit, that's chunky peanut butter right there. Give me that. Give me that. Give me more of that. Pile more of that on. Give me the fucking Nutella ones. Start doing weird shit with Reese's Pieces. Sign me up, because I don't know if you ever had the Nutella M&Ms. They weren't Nutella. They were so good. And if they were allowed to call them Nutella, they'd still be around. But they were hazelnut spread. Nobody knows what the fuck hazelnut spread is, so of course they didn't sell. But God, God diggity damn that I love those things. They were so good, and they worked so well in my Christmas M&M's mix. I am so pissed that you can't get them anymore. And even if I were to track down a bag, it would be A, expensive, and B, stale as fuck.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
But these Reese's Pieces...
I will never forgive Reese's for taking away the Elvis peanut butter cup. It's literally the greatest candy I've ever had.
What was the Elvis peanut butter cup? I don't know that one.
So there were two different versions of it. The one that I liked the best was the mini cup. And what they did for the mini cup, it was Elvis's 75th birthday or like some anniversary of his death. I don't fucking know why they did it. It was some anniversary surrounding Elvis, who is objectively mid. I said it, and I'm tired of pretending like he's not. However, what they did was this was a Reese's peanut butter cup, a mini cup, and the bottom half of the cup was the regular chocolate. The top half of the cup was a banana flavored chocolate, I guess. And the inside was peanut butter. And it was like a chocolate peanut butter banana. And apparently you don't like that combination.
I don't
which
like
is
banana. I really don't like banana candy, but I don't like banana in general.
Well, that was the thing. It didn't taste like banana candy. Like, it wasn't like they slapped a bunch of banana runts on top of a fucking peanut butter cup, which just wouldn't work. That kind of really fake banana candy. But it was very similar to like the banana pudding pops, that kind of flavor. Man, I fucking loved it. I love chocolate, peanut butter, and banana. Put that shit together. It's a good time.
The one that will always piss me off is the crunchy cookie cup.
The full-size cups. Oh, well, yeah.
The crunchy cookie cup. This Oreo, was it the Oreo Reese's?
Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. It's tasty, but it's not the crunchy cookie cup. The crunchy cookie cup was fucking perfection. And that no longer exists. Goddamn Greek tragedy right there.
Yeah, the peanut butter and banana minis were good. The full-size ones were just a regular peanut butter cup, but it had banana cream inside with the peanut butter. And it was fine. The frozen,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you can get, like, they sell frozen bananas, like Reese's frozen fruit banana slices. Like, they sell that at Target and ShopRite and wherever the fuck. And it's fine. Like, it's not the same. It's pretty good, though. Trader Joe's actually has a really good one, but...
I'm going to have to get a bag of these Reese's Pieces. It's $6, which is like, it's one of the big bags, so it's probably not as crazy overpriced as, like, it's all overpriced. It's all candy. It's expensive, but it's a big bag. But, like, it's going to be $6 plus a buttload of shipping because I don't want to buy, like, $30,000 worth of stuff. Like, right, I'm going to throw this into my cart, and let's see. Reese's Pieces, $5.99, plus $15 shipping. Fuck off. Never stop fucking off. Like, just start now and do it for the rest of your life.
It's better to just fucking drive to Hershey Park.
Exactly.
Like, fuck it, I might as well go to Hershey Park while I'm here.
A bag of Reese's Pieces costs you $15 to ship? Fuck you.
Yeah.
But I need to get some of these because these seem like they would be perfect for the holiday mix. I have been hoarding weirdo stuff this year. First off, I can't believe I never thought of it before, but my favorite thing in the universe, Reese's Pieces eggs. They're just the super thick Reese's Pieces. Those are going to the holiday mix this year. I've got an unopened bag of Reese's Pieces eggs right here. But also I've come across 4 unique flavors of... I feel like there was one more. Is there another one missing in here? Because I've been hoarding them in this little cubby here. I guess I never did wind up getting that 4th. So I've got a bag of honey roasted peanut, which I think
Okay.
these were out last year, the honey roasted ones, and I think I threw a bag of these in there last year.
I think
but
so.
I think they've
That
been,
sounds like something I've
Yeah.
had.
I think these ones have been discontinued, so I just grabbed a bag before they went bad. There was the bakery collection. Yeah, so I only have 2 of the bakery collections. I don't know what the third one was. What was the other M&M's bakery collection? Because my stores ran out. They ran out of one of the flavors. So I have a bag of cherry chocolate cupcake.
Okay.
Introducing a fruit flavor is... Oh, it was cinnamon roll. That was it. And I did try the cinnamon rolls. And they were okay, but they were just okay. It was peanut butter cinnamon roll. They were okay. Something wasn't quite right about them. So I knew that those would not go great in the mix. Although apparently they are available through CVS. Maybe I will grab a bag just in case. There's also the cherry chocolate cupcake, which I haven't tried, and lemon meringue pie. I don't know that either of those flavors... The cherry one might work in the mix, but adding a fruity flavor to this overall basically peanut buttery, overly sugary, chocolatey mix, I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm willing to consider
Cherry
it.
would be the one to add, not lemon.
Yeah. Lemon meringue pie, I think that's just going to be weird. I tried one of these. They are fucking delicious. The other one that's really interesting to me, these were Easter ones. White chocolate Easter marshmallow treat flavor. So that's their long-winded way of saying Rice Krispie treat flavor.
Right.
I have not tried these yet. I have an unopened bag here. That might actually work in the mix. But I'll have to try a piece to see how marshmallowy is it. Out of the white chocolate in there is something I've not pulled off yet. But those are the flavors that I have currently hoarded for the end of the year mix this year. And I think really the only one I'm missing is the cinnamon roll one again. What is this? Oh God, this is a whole M&M's Chocolate Mars Candy Packs limited edition. Oh, so somebody's got an eBay listing of a whole freaking mess of these things. What do we got? Holiday mint, pecan pie, cinnamon. How old are these? These do not look recent. I don't know that. I don't know.
These do not look Also, did you say pecan? It's pecan. Fucking heathen.
Yeah, okay, Ryu.
Anyway. That's what we call a callback, folks. Unplanned.
Cafe mocha. These are just
Well done.
cinnamon. I don't know about that. Pecan pie, dark chocolate. That's not limited edition. Dark chocolate M&Ms are just a thing. That's just a bag of peanut M&Ms. What the fuck's wrong with you? Red velvet? Mint, gingerbread. Oh, I remember the gingerbread ones. Those were actually pretty good. Megas, pumpkin spice, cherry. The hell does that say? Cherry. I can't read that. And then carrot cake? Oh no.
That I'm into.
I don't know how I feel about that. This one is a
Fucking love carrot cake.
banana nut bread. Wow. This is really something here.
I enjoy a banana nut bread.
Yeah. The caramel
my
ones
favorite
were
of
a
the
big
nut
disappointment to me. They were a big disappointment to me, the caramel ones. Not that they're not good, it's just that
I don't know that I had them.
They're very, when you put them in the big old mix that I make, they're very overpowering because everything just sticks to the caramel, and then you're just like, well, shit. Now I'm just eating a big wad of nonsense, and
Yeah.
I love a good wad of nonsense in my mouth.
I know you
Don't
like a
get me
good
wrong.
wad of nonsense in your mouth, but
Candy
not
corn
necessarily to
M&Ms.
chew on.
Candy corn M&Ms. I would try that. I love candy corn.
That's fine.
Anyway, we should wrap this up. What do you got going on? That's all I've got.
That was a whole lot. Not a ton this week, mostly because the one thing I did play was Mouse PI. I've started putting time into that. After I finished Mio, I decided the next thing I was going to tackle was Mouse PI. And so far, I'm probably only about an hour into it. But I am really enjoying it. They are absolutely nailing the detective noir, like hard-nosed fucking bullshit. Game looks really good. I'm playing it on my Steam Deck, and it plays really, really well there. I did turn down some of the film grain because I was like, all right, guys, I get it. I see what you're going for. Maybe we pull back a little bit on this. But there's a lot of options for how much you want the game to have like all those effects and shit on it. Voice acting is really solid. The story is absolute nonsense. The one thing that I will say negatively about it is one of the things that I've heard a couple people just kind of mention. The enemy designs are just repeated over and over and over again. There is not a variety of enemies in this game kind of at all. I think there's like 2 or 3 different enemy silhouettes that you'll go against, and it appears that that's how it is throughout the entirety of the game. But the rest of the game kind of makes up for it. The characters are really charming. The voice acting's really good. There's a little segment when you come across like a locked safe or whatever, you have to mouse pick or tail pick, because, you're a mouse. So when you go to pick the lock, it's like a little puzzle where you have to move his tail around. And you only get a certain number of moves, and you have to do it in a certain pattern. And they're just kind of these neat little puzzle things to figure out, throughout the course of the gameplay. But really solid. I so far, anyway. I suppose it could all come off the rails, but I do really like it so far. But the main reason that was all I played this week is because this was the week that we celebrated our Christmas in July with our handmade gifts. We ended up doing that yesterday, and it went really, really well. I am consistently impressed with the things that the kids come up with. Penny made for me and Tiff, she made us kind of like a combined thing. She did a little hand sculpted yin yang that she then painted with animals that she thought best represented us, because that's just the type of kid she is. So my half of it had a Rottweiler on it, and Tiff's half had a red panda. So I was like, fuck yeah, love that. And they just absolutely adorable little paintings. They just came out really great. And then Roddy sculpted for me Spider-Man's wrist bracer. So, you've seen the Toho Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man?
I mean, I've not watched it. I know what it is. I'm aware of it, and I've seen pieces of it, but I have not sat and watched any of it. No.
He on his left arm, he has a device that he uses to call the Marveler or Leopardon his big fucking mech. So Roddy sculpted that for me. So now I have one, and it's fucking awesome, and I love it. And Tiff ended up making for me something that was that I just love. The longtime Yankees radio announcer John Sterling passed away earlier this year, and he was the voice of the Yankees my entire life, basically, right? And at the end of the game, he would either say, the Yankees win, like he would do that thing, or when they lost, he would go, well, that's baseball, Susan. Because Susan Waldman was his co-host. And years ago, Tiff and I were watching a game, and the Yankees ended up doing kind of what the Phillies did today, right? They shit the bed and lost the game in a big, bad way. And just trying to be funny, because we're watching the game on TV, I looked over at Tiff and I said, well, that's Susan baseball. And it just kind of has stuck around. And like I wasn't trying to say that's Susan baseball. I was trying to say that's baseball, Susan. But that's just kind of become a thing between us now, and it's just kind of entered our lexicon of like when something goes poorly, either of us will turn to the other and be like, well, that's Susan baseball. And I just really, really love it. So she used her Cricut and put that on a New York Yankees themed mouse pad that she made for me, which is really awesome. And then the kids each made also Cricut. What a fucking cool thing that is. You can do a lot of neat shit with a Cricut. They made me coasters of silhouettes of both He-Man and Skeletor, but they have like this really cool like universe looking pattern that they painted in the silhouettes. Like they painted it through Procreate on their tablets and then exported that file out so Tiff could then print them into the silhouettes. And they made little like coasters so they could be like little decorations that will end up with my Masters of the Universe display. And it was just really, really lovely and wonderful. And, they nailed the gifts for each other. Tiff absolutely loved the Jesus Christ Look at the Time clock that I made for her, which it just makes me laugh. Dude, every time I walk by it, I've been walking by it in the house all day, and I'm like, God, Jesus Christ, look at the time. It's so fucking funny. God damn it, it's funny. But then we had, like, Christmas dinner turkey burgers. So, like, I made turkey burgers, and I made stuffing, and we did sweet potato fries, and I made mashed potatoes, and I made a marshmallow, like, ketchup, not ketchup, but to dip the fries in, like a nice sweet kind of marshmallow dipping sauce. And then we had an apple pie. And last year we watched The Ref. It was absolutely one of my favorite Christmas movies. This year we watched the original Gremlins because we had never shown it to the kids. And man, I got to tell you, watching that movie as an adult, what the actual fuck were we doing in the 80s, Chris?
I have not watched it as an adult yet, so
dude,
I've been kind of worried too because I remember really liking that movie as a kid.
Shot. It's fucked up, that movie. Stripe just has a gun. I forgot that he just shot people. What the fuck is happening? That movie is fucking insane. It is absolute insanity. And the whole time we're watching it, the kids are looking at us like, what? We're like, I don't know. The 80s were fucking different. This is why your generation sucks. This is what we were raised on. I would highly recommend watching Gremlins as an adult. Holy shit, does that movie hit different now? I had forgotten so much of it. And like, damn, dude, there's a line where like fucking Phoebe Cates' character, and apologies if this is triggering for anyone, earplugs for self-harm and whatnot, but there's a line as she is as they're walking down this, he's walking her back from the bar, and is talking about why she hates Christmas, and she's like, some families sit at home and open their Christmas presents while others sit at home and open their wrists. It was like, holy shit! Jesus Christ! Yeah, and the kids looked back at us and they were like, what the fuck are you making us watch? And then the Gremlins showed up and both of them were like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. This is so fucking nuts. How is this happening? It's like, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It's just fucking different. Because we were like, I don't know, do we watch like, do we watch Die Hard or do we watch like Batman Returns? I was like, nah, fuck it, let's put the Gremlins on. Kids have never seen the Gremlins. I love Gizmo, they'll love Gizmo. Holy shit. Just man, what an experience. What an absolute experience. Like, don't watch it with John and Ellie until they're like 15, at least. Saw that movie when it came out.
Yeah, I definitely watched it when I was younger than 15. Like,
and
I remember it being. I remember being weird, but I don't remember. All I remember is liking Gizmo and being really creeped out when the other ones would pop out of their backs. Like,
yeah, oh yeah. And that's still like the practical effects, I think, still really hold up, and Gizmo's still really adorable, and all the gremlins are pretty great and whatever. But they're getting drunk at the bar and fucking shooting each other. It's insanity, man. It's absolutely nuts. Just, man. Yeah. 80s were fucking different, dude. Anyway.
I have nothing to add to that.
No, that was it. So that was like the bulk of this week was spent on making. So I guess what I did for the kids, I did the Love Park sign in Philly. I painted that for the children, but for Penny's, I replaced the O with a silhouette of Bendy from Bendy and the Ink Machine, and for Roddy's, I replaced it with a fucking Decepticon logo, and did like big paintings of that. And man, fucking drawing a Decepticon logo by hand, I really should have made a stencil. That would have been so much easier. That was a fucking pain in the ass logo. Anyway, that's what I got. That was this week.
Cool.
Yeah. So, if I could, though, one last thing before you wrap up, like it completely shifting gears, totally different thing. Legitimately, very, very sad news that one of my friends received this week. We're going to put the link in the description for the GoFundMe to help out my buddy Neil. His wife, not unexpectedly, but sooner than they were really hoping for, passed away from brain cancer. He is now a single dad, and he is taking care of his daughter, who is starting school in the fall. So he is not working currently, and they're just asking if anybody can help to send a couple bucks over to get him through until my buddy Neil can go back to work when his kid goes to school full time. So just an absolutely awful thing. Don't feel any pressure if you don't have any money that you can spare, but please share it around. Try and get my buddy some help as he's going through a rough time. So, from me to you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that link is in the show notes, and I didn't know these folks, but that's absolutely tragic. That sucks.
The literal definition of a fucking tragedy, man. Like just as bad as it could possibly be. He's a great dude. Even if he wasn't a great dude, I don't know why I say that. It doesn't matter that he was a great dude. He does happen to be a great dude. But it's a fucking awful thing for anybody to have to go through. So, sorry to bring it down on a sad note, but it's an important thing if anybody can, like I said, if you can help, if you can share, that would be awesome.
And with that, we're going to wrap up the show because it's time for all kids to go to bed, including me.
Not me. I gotta go pick my daughter up.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You do.
I do. Yeah.
So, what the hell are we doing next time? That is our show. Join us next time for the Alphabet Super Series, which was my pick for the letter F. We'll be talking about Fantasy Zone: The Maze for Sega Master System. I'm excited. Sif.
Me too. I haven't started it. Usually I start like way before this, but I've got some time off, so I'll put some serious time into it this week.
I do not have time off. I have nothing but work. I've been going.
It's not what you want.
Going pretty hard, and like it was our wedding anniversary over the weekend, and like the goal was for us to get a couples massage this week, and it just didn't happen because I've been busy with work, and Karen was busy with work, and this is why we're not doing a video podcast anymore, because had I had to do all the video editing on top of this, I think I would be dead right now. But with that, we're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks. And we'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.